A Trump theory on the drones. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The president-elect telling reporters he thinks the federal government knows what's happening after drone sightings in multiple states.
They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense.
Adding he does not think an enemy is responsible. He also will not comment on whether he has received intelligence briefings on the drones. The federal government is sending resources to help states as an FBI investigation continues. Some local and state officials are urging Congress to expand counter-drone authority. The Trump comments coming in a more than hour-long news conference at his Florida home, Mar-a-Lago, where the CEO of SoftBank called him the double-down president, announcing that the Japanese venture capital firm will invest $100 billion in the U.S., double their investment during the first Trump term, focusing this time on AI and critical infrastructure and aiming to create 100,000 jobs. Other executives, including big tech leaders, have also been visiting Mar-a-Lago, and President-elect Trump says it's a big difference from his first election.
The first term, everybody was fighting me. In this term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know. My personality changed or something.
He calls this time the opposite of hostile. A former FBI informant just admitting in court he lied about President Biden and his son Hunter accepting bribes. Alexander Smirnov pleading guilty to a felony charge in connection with the phony bribery scheme story, along with a tax evasion charge stemming from a separate indictment. We're just getting reports of a shooting at a Christian school in Wisconsin. Police say there are multiple injuries at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. They're also calling it an active and ongoing investigation. They are not confirming any other details yet. America is listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Some gusty winds from the west-northwest going through our Monday afternoon with that clearing process continuing. Temperatures are going down. 48 by the time the sun goes down late this afternoon. Tonight, clear and cold, 34. Tuesday, sunny and 51. More rain, a cold rain, but all rain Tuesday night. Wednesday, some early showers, then clearing skies Wednesday afternoon at 46. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This holiday season, save $30 on the GTA 26 handheld garden pruner. Now just $149.99. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Offer valid for a limited time, only at participating dealers while supplies last.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Want to know the truth?
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
So Trump's speaking today from Palm Beach, and he got asked a question about the drones. And when you are the president of the United States and people across the country are seeing unidentified flying objects, which are called UFOs, but that's not what we call them anymore. UAPs. Which are unidentified
aerial phenomena.
And
Antifa.
Problems.
Right.
Obviously. I mean, it could be.
I mean,
we don't know.
That's why we're here, is to deliver the facts.
People have questions about what's going on, obviously. And when you hear John Kirby go out, I think Brad said this last week, like they send John Kirby out when they really need to not F up the message they want you. That's probably not how Brad said it, but that, I mean, when.
No, that's not how Brad said it.
He definitely thought that, though.
People want to know, and here you have Donald Trump. He gave an hour and 15-minute press conference. He spent an hour and 15 minutes after initially announcing, something that is a very good, positive story, something that is going to make a lot of people feel just like, okay, this is headed definitely in the right direction, an investment in America's future with SoftBank.
This historic investment is a monumental demonstration of confidence in America's future, and it will help ensure that artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, and other industries of tomorrow are built, created, and grown right here in the USA. One of the beautiful things about Massa is he's very much involved with emerging technology, probably knows it maybe better than almost anybody.
Yeah, Elon Musk's in the background going, hey. So there's a big, massive investment being made into American-centric research when it comes to the future of these types of things. And I want to play this clip from, he calls him Masayoshi. He's the CEO of SoftBank. And if you watched the actual clip, or if you got to hear the actual clip of when this was going on, Ryan, I don't know if you heard about it. So this is a huge investment, $100 billion.
Yeah.
It's double what it was the last time Trump was in office. He doubled it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Well, let's listen and see. Let's listen to this clip and then.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited. I would really like to celebrate the great victory of President Trump. And my confidence level to the economy of the United States has tremendously increased with his victory. So because of that, I'm now excited to commit this $100 billion and 100,000 jobs into the United States.
So that's why I wanted to play the clip to be sure if it were in there or not, because it's not. The funniest thing at the beginning of this whole press conference, you have Trump speaking to the press, and Masayoshi is going to speak. So Trump's going to introduce him to come up and talk about this great investment, this great partnership. And as Trump is just gushing over Masayoshi and the great success that his administration, he's doing the Trump thing, he's giving himself the pat on the back, really, that he honestly deserves. He goes, $100 billion. He goes, that's amazing. Twice what it was before. He goes, and I'm going to bring him up here. He's a wonderful guy. And he says, but I'm going to ask him right now, make it 200.
Nice.
Yeah, I hope we can get the clips from that.
Power of the press.
Because then it continues on, and Masayoshi's up there, and he's like kind of nervous, laughing like, I mean, it's going to be great. We'll see what we can do.
That's great.
And Trump is just like, yeah, you will. It's such a different ball game. And then after that, you have Donald Trump standing in front of the press, and he's taking question after question after question. There was a hunger from the press at this press conference that we haven't seen in quite some time, which was super refreshing. They wanted answers, and they were asking questions in a way that showed that they believed that they were going to get them. When you have Donald Trump speaking with the confidence of Donald Trump, and I will add to this, I heard some other people commenting somewhat likewise. This is a little bit more of a refined Donald Trump. There's another point later on where he's talking about, they ask him about the defamation suit. George Stephanopoulos and ABC have to pay Trump $15 million for accusing Donald Trump of being liable for rape, which is not true. That's a lie. When George Stephanopoulos said that repeatedly in an interview with Congresswoman Nancy Mace and wasn't checked on it, the old world that we lived in it just was out there.
Yep.
And George Stephanopoulos could just do those things. And he didn't have to toe the line and make sure that he was factually accurate when he's making bold statements like that really do defame someone. Do you know how hard it is to successfully win a libel case as a public figure?
Yeah, it's tough.
It's super tough. Like, you have to cross the line in a blaze of glory so confidently with great damage that is ensued to a public figure in order to be held liable for that.
Yeah, and show malice. You have to show that the intent was not just accidental, that they were doing it on purpose. And so this lawsuit actually is a pretty big deal that he won it or settled it.
Brad's dug this up, so we're going to play this. This is great. So you've got Masayoshi standing there, and I was listening to the majority of this. I had it up on my phone, but Masayoshi is about as tall as Trump's shoulders.
Yeah.
So Trump's standing behind him and looking at a 45-degree angle to Masayoshi, who's speaking.
I'm excited to go, and we were discussing, and President Trump said, Masa, double down is not enough. Maybe, go for more, right?
That's what I'm going to ask him right now. Would you make it $200 billion?
Off mic.
He can actually, believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that. Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but, he's now asking to do more. I think, with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will I will try to make it happen.
I will try to make it happen.
200 million investment.
He is a great negotiator.
And then Trump grabs him by the neck. He's like, come here, little man. Gives him a little noogie. The last part of that's not true, but it almost could have been.
Oh, if that clip kept playing, that noogie was next.
Joe Biden is still the president of the United States. I mean, just, gosh, this phrase, I'm like, am I getting tired of this? I'm like, no, I'm not getting tired of this. But the whole "we are so back" thing.
Yeah.
It's just, this is familiar, but this is familiar without the baggage. This is what Outnumbered was talking about. Kayleigh McEnany specifically was talking about just a little bit more of a refined presentation from Donald Trump, and we'll see if we can find this. I don't know if anybody pulled this or not because it was a deep cut, but he's talking about the defamation stuff, which is what we were talking about with George Stephanopoulos. $15 million?
15, yeah.
$15 million, of which I heard today that Stephanopoulos has to pay $1 million of his own.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think $1 million of that is coming out of Stephanopoulos' own money.
Okay.
Good. Make him pay it all. I want Trump to go on some show like E. Jean Carroll did after she won her money and talk about all the things he's going to buy.
Yeah.
Maybe you should buy MSNBC with it. Wouldn't that be funny?
Well, have you heard what he's going to buy with it?
No.
They're putting it toward the Trump library.
Oh, okay. Have a special fake news section and call it Stephanopolisville or something like that.
I think they actually made ABC/Stephanopoulos make the check out to the Trump library.
No, is that for real?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't hear that. He was asked by the press, who is just like gunning for any question they can get in there. And there's no animosity. He's just going from one person to the next. And someone says, are you looking to sue anybody else? And he's like, well, yeah, I am. I'm in the middle of doing that. And we're going to drop a lawsuit here pretty soon. He says he's going to sue Iowa Des Moines Register poll lady who tried to, in his mind, defraud the voters, not really specifically of Iowa, but of the whole country, into thinking that Kamala Harris had a chance to do anything she could at the end of the campaign to push votes in the direction of Kamala Harris. Because a lot of people say, don't set expectations too high, don't set them too low, because you're worried people will be like, well, it's baked in the cake, we're not going to show up and vote. If Kamala Harris was given that last minute, hey, I know it doesn't look good here, but she's looking pretty good in Iowa, and if she's looking pretty good in Iowa, we better show up. If this pollster just, what was her name? I can't remember.
Ann Selzer.
That's right. If she just pulled this out of thin air to try to sway the results of the election, which is really on the face what I think all polls are. She just did it with a little more gusto. If she did that, is that fraud? I think it's an interesting question. Because it feels like fraud to me.
Yeah, that'll be a tough lawsuit, but there is a case to be made for sure, because that was the case will have to show that the intent was to manipulate the media, because that's what happened. That whole weekend before the election, it was all, that whole Sunday and Monday, it was all about, oh my gosh, she's got a chance in Iowa. That means she's got a chance everywhere. That was the whole point.
Yeah, if she could possibly win Iowa, are you serious? That's actually in the realm of possibility. Well, that changes everything. And then we go when we find out, no, it changes nothing, and he kicked butt in Iowa. Here's from today's press
conference. I'm going to be bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good pollster who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers. And it was interesting the way she did it. She brought it down 2 weeks before. She said I was going to only win by 4. That was a big story. But that was good because she brought it down from like 22 points to 4 or whatever the number was. Way up. Way up. An easy win. We never even thought to go there. I respect them. I love them. And they understand there's no reason to go there because she brought it from way up, walk away, which it was. And it turned out to be in the election, too, by the way. It was a win by many, many points. And then she brought it down very smartly to 4 a couple of weeks before. And everyone said, wow, that's amazing. He's only up by 4 points. Then she brought it down to where it was down by 3 or 4, whatever the number she used. And that was the Des Moines Register. And it was their parent. And in my opinion, it was fraud and it was election interference. You know, she's gotten me right always. She's a very good pollster. She knows what she was doing. And she then quit before. And we'll probably be filing a major lawsuit against them today or tomorrow. We're filing one on 60 Minutes, you know about that, where they took Kamala's answer, which was a crazy answer, a horrible answer, and they took the whole answer out and they replaced it with something else she said later on.
So when you're looking at the future possibilities of what Donald Trump might do with lawsuits, some people might think, Trump, you won. And let us not forget, let us not make this a footnote, that in the midst of all of this baloney sausage reporting that took place over the course of the campaign and everything leading up to it, Donald Trump still overwhelmingly won the Electoral College and he won the popular vote. Imagine if Donald Trump had been treated fairly this entire time, if people would have reported on him without all of the media hoaxes that were involved. Imagine that he got a fair shake this whole time. It changes everything. Like, I don't think Kamala Harris is running. I think Joe Biden drops out way earlier. Honestly, Donald Trump is probably president in 2020, and we don't have him now with the mandate and the support of some of the most unusual places.
The lawsuits that he's bringing now are basically against malpractice across multiple industries, not just media. Because if you're talking about polling, he's going to try to prove that this pollster knowingly falsified their own record for the public. And that is a great case to bring because that's happening a lot these days. We all know it's happening, but this one is the most egregious. So to grab it and say, make it an example, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, and it has to stop. People have to be held accountable. We're going to break because Will Chamberlain is going to be with us when we come back. He's a senior counsel at the Article 3 Project. We're going to talk to him, which is a story that's not getting as much hype as it needs to right now, but I think a lot of this will really resonate after Donald Trump is sworn back into office, which is just amazing to me to even say out loud still to this point. 35 days to Inauguration Day. We're going to talk about those confidential human sources that were identified at January 6th. What is the magnitude of this? And also, we've heard that Donald Trump is considering possibly an executive order for voter ID? National voter ID?
It was either an executive order or a law. The tweet you sent me was a law, he was saying in the tweet.
So that it would be, I suppose, different if Congress were able to get behind it. And now is the time to do it. What kind of, because the states are supposed to regulate elections. Each state is supposed to be in control of their own elections. Can there be a national requirement for voter ID to vote? Boy, would that be a game changer, certainly in the future. Before we get to a break with Will Chamberlain coming back, I do want to report on a development, and I hate to have to say this again. Fox News is saying police in Madison, Wisconsin say they are responding to a shooting incident at a local Christian school Monday, saying they have reports of multiple injuries. Quote, the Madison Police Department is investigating a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. Multiple injuries have been reported. This remains an active and ongoing investigation. More information will be released as it is available. We currently need people to avoid the area. We will update you with the details of this breaking news as it happens. Keep it right here. We'll speak with Will Chamberlain next.
This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan make sure that if you are looking to better your financial situation, that you look to Stewie and Stewart's American Mortgage for help. You can refinance your mortgage right now with the Bagel Loan, and you pay $0 in closing costs to do that. So if you're looking to lower your rate, if you've got one of those obnoxious high rates that happened within the last couple years and they're lower now, get a lower rate, and it doesn't cost you anything. I know this sounds too good to be true, but it really isn't. I did it twice myself, and I took 2 Bagel Loan mortgage refinances over the course of like 2.5 years, and was able to get myself a very nice mortgage rate that I've been happy to have right now. And I did it because Stewie could do it both times, and it didn't cost me anything. And in fact, I can't even imagine the amount of savings that it helped me. I probably almost near cut my rate in half when I did that with Stewie. The second time was in 2020. Now, maybe it's your turn. If you're looking to get a new mortgage and you need to acquire one, you need to shop around for this. Go to Stewie at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, and see how he can help you with a bagel loan. Google bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey, inviting you to donate blood at the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive. Be someone's hero for the holidays. Give blood. Join us Tuesday, December 17th through Friday, December 20th at several YMCA locations near you. All presenting donors will receive a long-sleeve Red Cross t-shirt. Please call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule an appointment or visit redcrossblood.org. Use sponsor code Odyssey, AUDACY.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Merry Christmas.
Hey everyone, it's Ethan from the Mark Cox Morning Show. I just want to take a second to thank all the listeners for such a great year. We couldn't have done this without you guys. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Also, don't forget, download the Mark Cox Morning Show podcast.
Cause you're a sky full of stars.
According to this new report, there were no undercover FBI agents. However, there were 3 confidential human sources tasked by the Bureau to be in the crowd on January 6th to specifically watch what the report states is concerns over domestic terrorism. Out of those 3, Sandra and John, 1 entered the Capitol, 2 others entered a restricted area. The report says the FBI did not encourage or authorize any sources to go into the building or a restricted area. In addition to the 3 confidential human sources, the FBI told there were 23 that were there on their own. Now, they had worked with the FBI in the past on other cases, but not specifically on the January 6th rally.
Well, that's a David Spunt Fox News report, and I found it kind of interesting here over the weekend, the story of the Stephen A. Smith show, which is interesting. It's always interesting how he weaves his way into what we're talking about on any given day. Stephen A. Smith said the big issue is I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around, I'm finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way. I think it's important that with the report that has been given that we do get down to some facts of the matter, which is why we bring our friend Will Chamberlain back on the show with us. Senior counsel at the Article 3 Project on X at Will Chamberlain. You can go to article3project.org for more information. Will, thank you for being here today. It's great to have you back.
Obviously, great to be with you, Annie.
Thank you, Will. Give me your assessment of that report when you found out that the confidential human sources were participating in January 6th. What does that mean to you, and what do you want the American people to understand about what this report revealed?
I mean, I'm not surprised by it at all. Hold on, let me get my audio a little bit better here. I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I think it's not a surprise. It reflects a very obvious thing that was happening, because obviously the FBI is going to have sources within the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and people like that, people who are members of those organizations but talk to the FBI and confidentially and give them information. So it's not surprising at all. And the real thing that I think is the scandal is the way in which Americans were gaslit and told that it's ridiculous to think that there are federal sources among the people who are going into the Capitol. Liz Cheney mocked Mike Lee, called him a conspiracy theorist for suggesting what was pretty obviously true at the time and what now has been proven to be true. Now, I don't think it goes so far as to prove FBI orchestration of what happened on January 6th or a deep FBI involvement in initiating the riot, but I just think it reveals that the Democrats think Americans are so stupid that they're just willing to flat out lie to them about the presence of FBI confidential human sources on that day, only for it to be revealed 6 months later or a year later, like we all knew it would eventually be. It's really contemptible behavior from those people. Yeah,
and Will, the thing that I always have to question myself is, why would they not at least allude to the fact that what we all understand, good grief, you kind of hope it's true that the FBI has people placed in these areas, that, around the world or whatever, domestically, that at least our intelligence agencies know what's going on so they can protect us. And then when they're so aggressive about pushing back against, especially the way you said Liz Cheney did, it seems to me that the confusion and the absence of information becomes the political capital that they try to thrive on and have been successful with over the course of maybe even over a decade in this country, that it's more of the misinformation and disinformation that they seem to hate so much that they actually profit the most from.
Exactly, and it's exactly why we need somebody like Kash Patel to clean up all the rot at the FBI. We have an agency and people associated with it that just don't feel any problem about lying to the American public about what they're doing, about, they criticize mis and disinformation all the time, and yet they're a major source of it. They produce it for the American public, and then go out and accuse other people of being crazy conspiracy theorists. I think, it's just another example of a reason that we should be really tired of the way the FBI has been conducting business lately. I don't think most Americans would think we do need some sort of federal law enforcement. There's obvious important cases for it to be used. But they've grown because maybe of their location in DC, because of their involvement in all this anti-Trump work, all the Crossfire Hurricane and everything involved in destabilizing the Trump administration, that this is what they wanted. They're too involved in this, and they need to go back to their original function.
We're speaking with Will Chamberlain. He is a senior counsel at the Article 3 Project on X at Will Chamberlain. Go to article3project.org to learn more. You're talking about, the appropriate uses of the FBI. And I think politically in a campaign year and everything, it's really easy to be like, this good, that bad, this good, that bad. And, my understanding, I've heard people say they want to eliminate the Department of Education. I haven't really heard Kash Patel say he wants to eliminate the FBI. Give me some examples of the past ways that the FBI has handled a situation where a functioning FBI would have handled it differently.
I mean, I think you just look, it's more about what it would be focused on and where its agents would be working. I mean, you think about what are the origins of the FBI. A big one would have been bank robbery. We forget that sort of at the turn of the 20th century and in the 1920s and 1930s, you had lots of problems with bank robbery in Midwestern states, and it was very easy to, rob a bank in one state and quickly cross the border. And once you're across the border, the cops investigating the bank robbery don't have jurisdiction to go and investigate you where you are. And so interstate crimes that are cross-border, crimes on tribal lands, crimes, having this component where there's obviously a federal role, that's what the FBI should be doing. They're important, and they're, essentially preventing people from exploiting weaker localities civil rights is a good example of them. Like if there's a state violating civil rights, violating the Constitution, then and the state law enforcement is itself corrupt, then you want federal law enforcement to be there as a backstop. So that's the world in which we want the FBI. But really what they've done is, in addition to this federal law enforcement role, they've taken on post 9/11 the role of being the domestic counterintelligence organization as well. And that's not normal in most countries. For example, Israel is a good example of this, where Israel has law enforcement and then they have domestic counterintelligence, and they're not the same organization, right? Those are doing two very different functions, and they should be, they don't need to be the same piece. And so it's like, to the extent we need domestic counterintelligence, which we probably need some function of it, but it doesn't need to be tied to federal law enforcement. It can be its own agency, kind of more along the lines of what the NSA is doing.
Yeah.
And because when you tie it together with all the arresting, like the NSA can't go around and arrest people. That's the reason it's important to keep those things separate. But the FBI can both investigate, American citizens and spy on them, and then arrest them too.
Yes.
So you want to keep those functions separate.
Will, I'm going to let you meet my coworker here, Ryan Wiggins. He wants to ask you a question.
Hey, Will, I've read a lot about Kash Patel and Washington insiders saying things that actually scare me a little bit, because what they're saying is, this is such a big organization, big agency, the FBI. It's going to take Kash Patel or any head of the FBI a year or two really to even get their bearings, let alone to start changing things. Are you concerned that it's going to take that long for Kash Patel to really come in and start to change the way it operates?
Possibly, but he has a lot of power as the director of the FBI over the FBI rank and file and the senior staff, and can very quickly replace them, because he may not be able to fire them outright, but he can reassign them wherever he wants to go. That was something Hoover was notorious for reassigning agents to Butte, Montana, and only stopped when he realized that Butte was actually a very beautiful place. So that's going to be in his thing. Like, do you want to go to the FBI field office in Fairbanks, Alaska, or the middle of Arizona in summer, or do you want to retire, Mr. Deputy Chief of Staff who's been in DC his whole career? Like, you have the ability to force people out as the director, essentially by reassigning them to places they don't want to go. And if he's able to clear out the 7th floor of the FBI, the senior staff, and get his own people in there, or people who are simpatico with him in there, I think he can make a lot of change, and I think he can do it a little more quickly than people are anticipating.
Well, I would assume that the people who are given that opportunity to go to the desert in the summer or retire, they're going to still receive some very nice retirement packages from the taxpayer, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, and I think this is something that it's important. This is a good meta point for conservatives and Trump supporters to understand. Effectively getting what we want out of the bureaucracy is going to involve paying off bureaucrats, and that's okay. It's a one-time thing, or it's already a sunk cost in the sense of we already owe these people a pension. So we shouldn't get too upset about paying these people severance. And in fact, the more comfortable we are with paying more people severance, the more people we can get out of the government that shouldn't be there, and the more of our people we can get in. So I think that's a good, a mindset of we shouldn't be penny pinching here. This is a very good and valuable use of the taxpayers' money, is to get these people out of their positions.
Last question before we let you go. We're speaking with Will Chamberlain of the Article 3 Project. I've heard discussion being had right now about a potential law. I don't know if it's through executive order, that the Trump administration could come in and institute some sort of national voter ID law. What are the legal navigations that the administration would need to maneuver in order to make something like that possible?
Well, I was just reading about this. Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution gives Congress the authority to regulate the time, place, and manner of elections for federal office. So, I mean, if they were trying to regulate a mayoral election, I don't think they'd be able to get away with that. But as long as we're talking about congressional elections, and I think presidential elections as well, but certainly congressional elections, Congress has authority to regulate in this area. So if Congress passed a national voter ID law, that would pass constitutional muster.
And if something like that would require a majority in the House, simple majority in the Senate, is that?
I mean, it would have, under current Senate rules, it would need to get past a filibuster, because it's not really a financial regulation.
Sure.
Basically, I think the way around the filibuster is reconciliation, which is sort of only usable on budget matters and spending matters.
Okay. Well, so you're saying there's a chance. I like to
I'm
hear
saying
that.
there's a chance. Yeah, sure.
Well, thank you for your time today. We're really grateful for it. A lot of really important information, and we appreciate your time.
Absolutely happy to do it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Will Chamberlain of the Article 3 Project, a senior counsel there. You can find him on X at Will Chamberlain. Go tell him hello, and thanks for coming on the Annie Fry Show. And we'll put up some of the clips from this later on today. Really interesting stuff. Isn't it? It's interesting to hear Will talk about the benefit and the value of the FBI. We're old enough as elder millennials in this room to remember when like the FBI and the police were the good guys.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember being a kid and thinking, wow, the ATF, that's really cool. All these agencies, they have this kind of mystique about them that still exists in some ways.
You remember when President Biden was giving a speech from the Rose Garden? He was talking about something that had to do with gun regulation. He was talking about how he's really going to take it to the ATF, but he said AFT, which is the American Federation for Teachers, the Teachers Union. It's like, it's not the same person. So, all right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to Wiggins America, all the stories that we did not get to this weekend, or maybe things you might have missed. Ryan likes to give us the update on these incredibly important stories. I mean, they're just like you can't go through your day without knowing them.
You missed these, but they're going to change your life kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like gummy bears and, shopping at malls and stuff.
We said that we would update you throughout the course of the show on the tragic events in Wisconsin right now, and the latest report right now is that there are, I believe, 4 people who have died in a school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. They believe that the suspected shooter was a student. I believe the shooter is also dead. We'll update you with news on this as it develops. We'll be right back.
'Cause you're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. I don't care. Go on and tear me apart.
CassandSons.com. If you go to CassandSons.com, you will be able to learn about the great deals that Cassand's has right now for vehicles for you. Cassand's & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. You can call them directly at 618-800-2712, and you can ask them about this special offer. They have a lease offer on a 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab. The MSRP is $69,000, $565, no money down, $675 per month for 42 months, 7,500 miles per year. Reach out to Cassand's if this is something you might be interested in. A beautiful, beautiful Ram truck for you to check out and to enjoy in the new year. Reach out to them and talk to them about what you're looking for. If it's not that, it might be something else. I drive a Chrysler Pacifica from Cassand's. I love it. We just crossed over 100,000 miles in the last couple weeks or so. It was ceremonial. It was wonderful. Very proud to have done that. I take my Chrysler Pacifica to Cassand's for all of its maintenance. I trust them wholeheartedly turning my vehicle over to them, and I trust them so much that when we needed to buy a second vehicle for my husband, when he hit that deer, we went back and we had to make a quick purchase, and they treated us wonderfully in the process. They have an experienced sales staff. They have generations of experience of selling vehicles. They're in Glen Carbon, Illinois. Call them right now at 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712, Cassand'sCan.com.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Financial health is more than just really the investments. You have to look at tax consequences. You have to think about legacy planning or generational planning or your healthcare options. Those all go together with your financial health.
Join Matt Goolsby for Retire Hour to hear his team in finance, healthcare, estate, and taxes discuss changes in law, strategic planning, and answer listener questions. Submit your questions to be answered live on air at retirehour.com. Retire Hour, Sundays at 7 a.m., right here on KFTK.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
When the weather is the story is on 97.1 with live local updates and up-to-date forecasts from 97.1 Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Your local source for what's important. 97.1 FM Talk.
And every time it rains, panties from heaven. Shooby-dooby. Don't you know each cloud contains panties from heaven? Shooby-dooby. You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down, and trade them for a package of sunshine and ravioli. Macaroni.
So I want to update you before we get to Wiggins America on the events in Madison, Wisconsin right now. The headline from Fox News says school shooting leaves 4 dead, 5 injured, juvenile suspect dead. Police in Madison, Wisconsin say they are responding to a shooting incident at a local Christian school on Monday, saying they have reports of multiple injuries. Police say they responded to reports of an active shooter at the Abundant Life Christian School at roughly 10:57 a.m. They identified a juvenile deceased at the scene who they believe was responsible for the shooting. They are encouraging local residents to avoid the area. Madison Police Chief Shone Barnes said at least 4 people, in addition to the shooter, were killed, and 5 people have been transferred to a nearby hospital with injuries. Barnes did not clarify whether the deceased individuals were students or teachers. Lord have mercy. I want to give you those updates as they continue to come and make sure that we don't skip over that while we're doing the rest of the show. So if more develops, we will have it for you. All right, you ready to do Wiggins America now?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get to it.
Wiggins! Oh! Monday Roundup! Yeah! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
All right, let's start with the strangest one that I have of the weekend. There is a girl who pretended, this is a human interest story, but it's very fascinating. Girl who pretended to be her own twin every holiday for years, finally told her grandma on her deathbed that the twin had died 5 years ago. She had...
Wait. She pretended to be her own twin.
Yes.
But she actually had a twin.
She actually had a twin. She had a twin sister, identical twin.
I thought you were just saying that she just pretended to be a twin.
No, she didn't make up a person. This was a real person. It was her own twin. The twin died of something like meningitis about 5 years before the fact.
Was the family aware that she was faking this for grandma?
Apparently, Dad, I don't know about Mom, Dad encouraged it because they thought, gosh, grandma is so old. If she has a problem with this, it could be the end of her. Well, then she lived for another 5 years, so they faked it over and over and over. At every holiday gathering, she would come in as her own sister and then leave and come back as herself at holiday gatherings.
Why even at that point tell her on her deathbed? Like, is there a point really? Like, oh, by the way,
I'm with Ethan.
She died 5 years ago.
You guys got exactly where I was going with this. Why even tell her at all if she's on her deathbed?
Yeah.
This is beyond white lie.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. This is a crazy... It's amazing that somebody could pull this off, because we're talking about stuff that's like right out of the movies the last couple of weeks. This is out of the Parent Trap. I mean, this is basically the plot of the movie, other than the fact that one of them didn't die. But pretending to be your own twin is remarkable. Now, it's not that that's never happened. I think that I know people in my life that have tried to play themselves off as the opposite before. If you're an identical twin,
How much does your wife and her twin look like?
Enough
Do you guys
when
hear
they
fizz? Do you hear?
Fizz?
I hear like a soda fizzing.
Let me see.
I don't know. This.
Yeah, okay, it's there.
You do?
But
Okay.
it's deeper
I'm
than.
not- okay,
I don't think it's
having-
coming over
having
there.
a stroke.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Have they ever done the switcheroo? Are they look alike enough to do that?
I think when they were kids, they looked enough alike that they tried to go to the opposite class once just to see if they could get by with it. But the older they got, the less they looked alike, so they couldn't do it. But I think every identical twin has probably entertained the idea of doing this in some way or another. Wrong, right?
My husband's a twin, but they never looked alike enough to do that.
Yeah.
I do. You know what? I'm not going to name names, of course, but I do know twins, and they may not be identical, but they're the people who are like, if they're not identical, you're like, how are you not identical?
Mm-hmm.
They look exactly alike. But during COVID, they had a parent in the hospital, and you could only have. You remember how you had to have like one named visitor?
This is great.
Yes, they had. You could only have a designated visitor. When my grandma, she died in 2020. She had a heart attack, and put her in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no COVID involved. Nobody had COVID, but the only person who could be in the hospital with her ended up being my mom because she was the closest one to get there. She was the first one who could get. Actually, she took her to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But since my mom was the one who showed up with her, nobody else could go in with her, which is absurd.
Yeah, it's insane.
The twins that I know had somebody in the hospital like that, and they looked enough alike that they went and bought new outfits so they could match, and they
That's awesome.
took turns going in and out and just pretended they were
And
the
this
same
was
person.
during COVID.
Yes.
That's great.
And I was like, good for you.
I feel like your situation is like worst nightmare though, of like being married to someone who has a twin, and like I feel like it has to be worst nightmare situation of like not recognizing which one is which, and all of a sudden going up to your sister-in-law and thinking that that's your wife.
Like giving her a peck on the cheek. No, that's not going to happen, Ethan. They don't look that much alike anyway.
I'm saying a situation where you were married to a twin in general, an identical twin. So not necessarily your situation.
You ever
but
see
close
twins
to.
that marry twins?
Mhm.
Then they have like identical children.
Yeah. And the kids, there's like some name for those kids. I can't remember it because they're genetically almost twins, but they're not twin. They're not.
Yeah.
They're cousins, aren't they? Yeah, it's crazy. Those are really interesting stories. All right, moving on. There we go. Just whip your ears off.
That was terrible.
It's so loud. All right, it's probably compressed over the air, but in our ears,
Well, I had
yikes.
to turn my headphones way up.
It's
my fault.
Next one is a little more fun. Gen Z is shopping more at malls than online. Isn't that great? Gen Z consumers, despite growing up as digital natives, shop in stores about as much as their baby boomer grandparents do, according to a new survey by the ISCS, a mall industry group. The reason is probably what you'd expect. The generation that is coming up is seeking social connection instead of just being online all the time, and also instant gratification, which I have to appreciate as well because you get it right away.
Is Gen Z mine? Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay. We know this. I
Do you
get
like to
them
go to
mixed
the
up.
mall?
No.
Do you shop everything online?
Pretty much.
Which Stranger Things season is the mall? 3?
3, I think.
I think I'm a 3.
It's a good one.
That's the one we're
That
in
is a
right
good
now.
season.
Yeah.
That might be the best season.
My kids are like, did you go to the mall? And I'm like,
Really?
yes.
You guys have never been to
man.
the mall?
No, like, but like, I remember like hearing growing up, like, you know, the older kids say like, oh yeah, we go to the mall after school and we hang out. Like that
Yeah.
has never been a thing for
Yeah.
my generation.
I didn't go to the mall after school to hang out because we would go to St. Clair Square in Fairview. If it was the weekend and I could drive, I would go to the Galleria if I could. But we'd absolutely go and just casually. You shopped, but you didn't really have much money.
Right.
But you would go. I would go to the mall all the time. And my kids were asked, like, did you do that, Mom? And I'm like, yeah. Stop acting like I was with the dinosaurs.
It's just funny because there are still malls.
Yeah, you could.
know, it's not-
You too. I'm not taking you.
Wow. A roller derby?
It's just one of my favorite things to discover a store that I used to shop in the mall, have a storefront in the strip mall, or I can just go park in front of it, walk in, buy my thing, and leave.
Going to like the St. Louis Mills back in the day though, that was like an all-day thing when you went when you were
the
little. It's
St.
like,
Louis
oh my
Mills-
gosh, we'll watch the Blues practice
Yeah.
and we'll go race at the NASCAR.
Going to the St. Louis Mills back in the day, it was St. Louis Mills was like actually after my mall
Yeah,
time.
no Yeah.
So that's like so new that I didn't do it because it was too new for me. Like
Sheesh.
it was past it was past my mall time.
Is St. Louis Mills gone?
Yes.
Completely.
Pretty
Is
much,
it completely?
yeah.
Okay, so it was kind of after everybody's mall time.
Isn't there still a Bass Pro?
There's something over there
It's
still.
the Cabela's.
It's a
Is that what
Cabela's.
it is? Okay.
No, it's Bass Pro.
The mall was, man, when you didn't have any money, it was like, okay, you go into Spencer Gifts, you giggle a little bit, you walk out, you get your Auntie Anne's pretzel, you get some Dippin' Dots, and
There
you
is
just
a
hang out.
Spencer's in Edwardsville. There's a storefront
Just
Spencer's in Edwardsville.
A standalone?
Yes.
I did not know
And
this.
every time we drive past it, my son, who's like pretty much 15, he's like, Spencer's.
He's right on the right track
He's
then.
totally.
He's
and
going to be fine.
He's got a buddy who I was, the Washington, D.C. trip that I went on, we did go through a mall there. This kid was literally sprinting through the mall to find Spencer. I was like, why is he running? And Charlie goes, he's trying to find Spencer's. And I'm like, let's go to a map and find it. And I told him, like, you have to stop running. People are going to think you're stealing things. And there was no Spencer's at the mall, which was good because I was going to not really allow them to go peruse the Spencer's for obvious reasons. But yes, in Edwardsville, you can just walk into Spencer's. It's right by Goodwill and Slackers.
Did your Did your kids think that the National Mall was like an actual mall at any point?
I actually just learned that it wasn't.
Rand's like,
I was
what are you
4 I
talking
think
about,
I was 13
Ethan?
when I went, and I remember being like, this isn't a mall.
There's no Spencer Gifts in here.
Yeah.
America's a lie. You got another story before we wrap?
Yeah, one more. And I have to get this in because there's a new food combo taking TikTok by storm.
Oh, Lord.
It is called gummy polar bears. They are gummy bears that you soak for hours and hours in Sprite, then stick them in the freezer for at least 3 hours, pull them out, and eat them. Not only are they bigger, but they're also chewier.
We got to try it, don't
and
we?
they taste like Sprite. So
and by
I think
we, I mean the show
this
and
is
you.
something that we will be doing probably today.
So if we start this during the show today, would you try them tomorrow? Is that?
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Do we have
You
Sprite?
got to let them sit
There's Sprite
and
in
then
the-
freeze them.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you my card and you can go because they have. You
Yeah.
You
Well,
probably,
I probably have some in my desk. So.
Gummy bears. Yeah. Do you have Sprite?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Sprite and like Sierra Mist. What is it called now? Starry. I can't get behind that.
No,
That's
me
the
either.
dumbest
Come on.
thing I've ever heard.
Just be Sierra Mist and just let's be friends.
Does Sierra Mist exist?
No.
Is that the
Are we
It's
wrapping?
gone.
Sierra Mist is a person. Yeah, we're wrapping.
Okay, good. Good to know.
Oh,
All right,
man.
we'll see you next hour.
Steve Moore, Representative Mary Miller next. Bye.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost hundreds of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com to get your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility in minutes. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. I'd gone from 237 to 195. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
Get started right now with your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility for coverage in minutes at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Who you choose to sell your St. Louis area home matters, especially in this changing market. We all know a few realtors, including me, but I only recommend one realtor. Mark Cox here. For the past several years, I've gotten to know Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's different, guaranteeing to sell your home at your agreed-to price, or Gloria will buy it. When selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle. That's exactly what you get with Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Check this out. After 6 months, 2 separate agents failed to sell the Wheeler family's home. With no more time to waste, they decided to give Gloria Liu a call. Within a few days, Gloria was able to get them multiple offers and sold their home at nearly 99% of listing price because Gloria already had the buyers. The agent you choose to sell your home really matters. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. While we celebrate the reversal of Roe v. Wade, there is still much work to be done to support life and pregnant women before they cross state lines. Together, we can provide the love, support, and options that women need to choose life for their children. Coalition Life celebrates more than 3,500 clients served and thousands of lives saved since we began this mission with you. Each one is a miracle. Over the years, day in and day out, our team has walked alongside women facing the fear and challenges of an unexpected pregnancy. Through the support of this community, we have given them hope and a path to choose life for the children they carry. Visit coalitionlife.com to give your vital support while reducing or completely eliminating your state taxes through Missouri's 70% tax credit. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. A deadly school shooting in Wisconsin. I'm Lisa Brady.
Today is a sad, sad day, not only for Madison, but for our entire country.
Madison Police Chief Sean F. Barnes just confirming at least 5 people dead, including a juvenile suspect, after a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison.
The protocols are simple. Stop the killing, stop the dying, find out who's doing this. The officers did that.
He says officers found a student believed to be the shooter dead in the building. 9 people were injured, and at least 4 of them have also died. There's no word yet on any potential motive or the identities of the dead and wounded. They're still working to clear the buildings. But again, the police chief in Madison, Wisconsin, just confirming 5 people dead, 5 wounded in a shooting at a Christian school. A student believed to be the gunman is among the dead. The White House says President Biden has been briefed. Earlier, President-elect Trump holding another meeting with a business leader at Mar-a-Lago, this time a foreign bank investing in the U.S. tech sector.
President Trump appeared at his home at the Mar-a-Lago Club along with the head of Japan-based SoftBank, Masayoshi Son, someone with whom he has economic history.
I'm thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum.
The investment will be made over 4 years and will focus on businesses developing artificial intelligence and other emerging tech. Son had made a $50 billion investment in U.S. startups during President Trump's first term.
Fox's Evan Brown, the president-elect, also taking reporters' questions on a wide range of topics, including TikTok, which under a new U.S. law has to split from its Chinese parent company or face a ban. In his first term, then President Trump considered a TikTok ban over security concerns, but today said he has a warm spot in his heart for the app and will revisit the issue. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Some gusty winds from the west-northwest going through our Monday afternoon with that clearing process continuing. Temperatures are going down. 48 by the time the sun goes down late this afternoon. Tonight, clear and cold, 34. Tuesday, sunny and 51. More rain, a cold rain, but all rain Tuesday night. Wednesday, some early showers, then clearing skies Wednesday afternoon and 46. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. Maybe you're looking to give the gift of comfort this holiday season. It's kind of a weird thing to think of, like you're not like, oh, what would that person really like? Lower temperatures, higher temperatures? Maybe that's not at the top of your mind. But if you're looking to give something to somebody that enjoys practical things and also takes the burden off of them for having to maintain an HVAC system. Who knows how to do that? I'm thinking about those parents that you have. They're older. They're not doing this stuff. They're not checking in on it. You have to check in on it. Or maybe it's your kiddos who are in their house for the first time. You can give them the gift of comfort by signing them up, $19 per month, as a preferred partner in their preferred partner plan. They get 2 HVAC systems checks each year. I almost said that again. They get 2 HVAC systems each year. Corey's going to kill me. 2 HVAC system checks per year. Service, repair, and equipment discounts and priority service for $19 a month, man. I got to go.
Well, you got to say it twice because there's 2 of them.
Yeah, I got to sign up for that right now. I'm going to be turning HVAC systems in the back alley down here. Corey, no, that's not what I meant. If you get the opportunity to have your heating and air conditioning checked twice a year, you're going to avoid those very expensive maintenance problems that arise. This is a great gift to consider if you've got to this point and you haven't thought of something for that person in your life. Give them a call at 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired. Like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. This brand new facility offers state-of-the-art independent or assisted living and memory care, and now has holiday specials on select apartments. Visit npseniorliving.com or call today to schedule a free lunch to experience senior living redefined for yourself.
Hey, it's Trisha here, wishing you a happy holiday season. Thank you to the entire 97.1 family for another wonderful year. I'm grateful for all of you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. All
right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We have seen record job growth. We have seen record corporate investment. And as a result, we have seen record receipts, surplus after surplus after surplus. More people are moving here for the first time in 10 years. And that is all translated into financial flexibility for us to provide even more tax relief. And so today I announced our initiative to provide no taxes on tips to all of those hard-working folks in the hospitality and restaurant and food industry, personal services. This is over 250,000 Virginians who work so hard. This is a great way for them to keep more money in their pocket as opposed to giving it to a government. We're already running surpluses, and therefore no taxes on tips is going to become the mantra in Virginia.
So Governor Youngkin is talking about one of those Donald Trump economic policies, no tax on tips, and we're seeing it start to get some legs and take some action. Let's get to our friend Steve Moore, the expert when it comes to all things economics, and his new book, The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again. Welcome back, Steve. It's good to have you here.
Well, Merry Christmas. Great to be with you. And I love that. You know, I live in Virginia. I had not heard that news that the no tax on tips is coming to Virginia. It should come to every state. And of course, we'll do that at the federal level when Trump gets into office. And incidentally, isn't it amazing? You know, Trump is not really president yet. He's not president for another 4 weeks, but it seems like he's in charge. And I don't know, have you seen Joe Biden at all? But I see Donald Trump all over the place. He's meeting with foreign leaders. He's bringing capital in the United States at a big press conference today about a huge, I think it was $50 to $100 billion of new investment in the United States. $100 billion by a Japanese company that's going to invest in, I think, 100,000 jobs or something.
Yes.
So it's just amazing. He is racing out of the gate. And as I said, he doesn't get inaugurated till January 20th. But it just seems like he's the president.
Yes, and it's kind of like nobody seems to mind. I keep saying somebody's been playing president for a long time. It wasn't Joe Biden. Whoever was pulling the reins before doesn't seem like they're trying to stop Trump. You know, talk to me a little bit about Donald Trump's ability to make deals, because the SoftBank CEO Masayoshi, who was talking about this $100 billion investment, I don't know if you've seen this particular part of it, but as Trump was introducing Masa to the press conference, he was like, "I'd like to make it actually $200 billion." and Masa kind of gets
I did see that.
I mean, he's making deals in the middle of announcing the current deal that they have on the table.
Yeah, and and he also said this is the first of many big deals that are going to be forthcoming in the weeks and months ahead. You know, look, he was very good in the press conference today, and he basically said, look, we're going to cut tax rates. We're going to have one of the lowest tax rates in the world on businesses. We're going to get rid of some of these onerous regulations that make it expensive to do business. We're going to produce more American energy, which reduces our energy costs in America. And this is going to be like a magnet, he said, to bring companies and jobs back to the United States. And he's right about that. And then he was saying that these tax cuts that he's talking about may even pay for themselves, because as you get more business and more people working, you get more tax revenue. And I thought, gee, that's the Laffer curve. That's the Reagan idea, and it always seems to work. So I think it's amazing, and I just love, by the way, his demeanor. He's not, I've always said, and I've done your show for many years now, and I'm a friend of Donald Trump's, and I'm an incredible admirer of his, and I've worked with them, but I've always said, there's a good Trump and a bad Trump. But boy, all we've seen since, the last 3 months is the good Trump. Mm-hmm. He's been under control. He's been calm. He's been, magnanimous. He's been modest, but he's gone out and he's just doing the job. He's not name calling. And his approval rating today, Annie, is higher than it has ever been.
Man, it's so exciting to see this. I revert to your book, The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again. It sure is simpler to unleash prosperity when you have people begging to come have dinner at Mar-a-Lago, like the Bezoses and the Tim Cooks and the Zuckerbergs of the world. And then you have these world leaders who are making these phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of like jaw dropped at how much prosperity could be in front of us, knowing that he may not have all of that friction as he moves forward to try to make America great again.
Yeah, I think I had said many months ago on your show that we might have violence if Trump won, and he did win, and I was completely wrong on that. It's been very calm in the cities, and thank God. And because and so many of my Democratic friends who hated Trump 8 years ago today say, well, he's doing some pretty good things. He's got some good ideas. So people are more open-minded to him, and so he's got an incredible amount of political capital right now. I want to race right out of the gates. He told me he's going to be signing a stack of executive orders, an inch thick. The first day he's in office, the first hours he's in office, he's chomping at the bit to do this. So he's going to race out of the gates like Secretariat. It's going to be a really exciting first 100 days, and I think you're going to really see the dividends from this. But I'm not here to tell you, though, that everything's fine and dandy, because, I'm looking at some of the numbers, and the inflation is not over. Some of these lingering effects of Bidenomics are still going to be with us. So, I don't want to be too Pollyannish here because there's a lot of work to be done.
We're speaking with Steve Moore. He's a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation, a Trump economic advisor as well. A lot of what we have seen from Donald Trump on the campaign as far as promises go is very much so America first. And I know I know if I say to you something about tariffs, you're going to tell me you're a free trade guy. I know that's coming, but I already know that.
You know me too well.
I do know that, Steve. But when I see the way he's talking about it, reciprocity with our trade partners across the globe, it seems as though he's not just protecting the American consumer, which is a lot of people who want to just oppose Trump are like, it's going to cost a lot more for the American consumer. He's talking about protecting American business, American manufacturing. Tell me about what this direction of where he's going, including the tariffs, how this might affect our American economy.
Well, it's a really good point you're making, and I have to say that he made this point in the press conference today when he said, we will have tariffs. He said, but if companies come into the United States and create jobs here in Michigan, Ohio, Missouri, California, Maine, then they're only going to have to pay a 15% tax. So, in other words, what he's doing is saying, okay, if you're going to buy stuff that's coming in from, let's say China, you're going to have to pay a tariff on that at the border. But if you make it here, you'll pay less tax. And so if that's the case, I'm very open-minded to that. I mean, look, I don't like tariffs or taxes. I don't like, and some things have to be made abroad. Some things, there's a law of comparative advantage. But to the extent that we can make more things here employing American workers, I'm all in favor of that. How about you?
Yeah, 100%. And being able to buy American, made in America. And I think that's a really exciting thing moving forward. One last quick question before we let you go. We're speaking with Steve Moore right now. One of the other big things, he's got economic, first day initiatives that he's going to invest in. But of course, the border is another one. And one thing I keep hearing a lot of the people on the leftist side of the media say, if you deport these people, who's going to do those jobs? And, I'm thinking about times in American history where we've preyed upon super cheap labor for production. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the economy of the deportation of a lot of these people who are here, many of them who do have jobs.
It's a tough question because look, let's start with what we can and all should agree on, which is you start with the criminals and the people who would do damage to the country and have done harm to the American citizens, and the drug dealers, the terrorists, the criminal element. If you're in the country illegally and you've committed a crime, you're out of here. Right. And I don't understand why Joe Biden has let these people stay. And that's a lot. That's probably 1 million people or so that will have to leave. Now, what do we do about people who've come into the country and they're just working and, trying to make a good living for themselves and so on? I don't know. I'm not so sure I want to see those people. Look, we need workers in this country. The birth rate is falling. 5,000 baby boomers are retiring every day. And so I'm very undecided about this. I do not want to see mass deportation. I don't think the American people do either. But maybe, what do we do about these folks? Do we make them pay a penalty? Do we, do we have them go back and then reapply, for admittance? I don't know. It's a tough one for me because, people are just coming in here working and, hard and that kind of thing. Well, that's they shouldn't have come in illegally, but they're not doing harm. Anybody who's working is not doing harm to our country. Now, if somebody comes in and goes on welfare, we can't come into this country and just go on welfare for government benefits. We're going to bankrupt the country.
Yeah. I just think that when Trump is addressing the border issue and the economy issue, I feel like the deal maker is going to make some deals that make some hardliners in the political parties bristle quite a bit. But I think realistically going forward, there's an opportunity to fix a system overall.
Well, one thing he did say in his press conference, because he's been talking a bit about this, and he said, "Look, we don't want to separate families. Of course, we don't. We don't want to separate children from their parents and that kind of thing. So we have to work it out in a humane but economically sensible way. But let's start with why would Joe Biden let these criminals stay here? Is he trying to hurt our country?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Completely agree.
And then of course you have to. I forgot the other thing you have to do is stop the illegal entry. Right. You just got to. He talked a lot about this at the. By the way, did you see that Biden is trying to sell off the materials that we need to build the wall?
A nickel on the dollar.
crazy. It is subversive.
Yep.
And Trump was angry about that. I mean, he had a very good press conference today. He was very much under threat. You could tell he was angry. He's like, why would Joe Biden do this? Now we're going to have to buy it back at 20 times what we sold it for.
We're 35 days away from Inauguration Day, Steve. I have a countdown on my phone, so I can always know how close we are. It makes me smile each time. Thank you so much for your time today. We always appreciate you.
Okay, Annie, have a great week. And
yes. Merry Christmas to you, Steve Moore. We appreciate you. Steve Moore is a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation, an economic advisor to Donald Trump, and a Monday guest on our show. One of the coolest guests that we have. We had him on. I know we booked him a few times. Was he coming on, Brad, before you were here?
Yeah, he was on before me.
So you came in September of 2021. Yeah. So he has been on for quite some time. I guess Katie had booked him at the time, and one time he goes, "We should do this more often. We should do this weekly." He said it on the air, and we were like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, that's the genesis, huh?
Yes, let's go. Let's do that. And he was advising. I think he might have been on the show when Trump was president, so it might have been even in 2019.
I would think so.
It's been a long time. But one of my favorite people who we have on with regularity, because he gives us such an interesting up-close and personal view, and he's not afraid to say like a negative thing here, a negative thing there about President Trump. But I just thinking, especially the way he was making the point at the beginning of that conversation, he's like, Donald Trump's not even the president yet. And things are moving at a fast pace in the correct direction.
$100 billion investment from a major bank. Well, maybe $200 billion.
Developed in the middle of the conversation. And then Donald Trump put his arm around Moss's neck.
If you didn't see the video, you got to see. I mean, I think we have it on our stream. You can rewind it to that moment, the first segment.
It was amazing. All right, you want to take a quick break? Congresswoman Mary Miller, not in studio, but on air with us when we come back. She is the 15th District Representative in the United States House of Representatives in Illinois, and we're going to talk to her. She has been involved with, a lot of the developments that have been coming along with the Trump transition team. We'll hear from Congressman Mary Miller about how she expects the unity of the Republican House. Ryan, isn't it like the biggest question mark that exists is, can the Republicans act as one unit in the new Congress, in the House of Representatives? Because if they can't, this is down the drain fast.
You got a narrow majority.
Yes, but you've got the majority.
You do have it.
Let's talk to Congresswoman Mary Miller when we come back, and then after that, we'll get to a discussion about the YouTube live chat poll, which I don't even know if I've mentioned yet today. Do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? Yes or no? Initially, I was going to ask the question, do you believe that the United States government knows the whole story of the drones? And then, of course, President Trump at his press conference, he was asked about him, and he's like, they know. The government knows. The military knows. They watch these things take off and land. They know exactly what's going on, and why they aren't telling you, I have no idea. So I'm glad I didn't ask that question. But I do want to know how much you care about the mysterious drones over the United States, because this is one of those stories. Sometimes we kind of, professionally but also privately get extra interested in the story. I never want to be so interested in something that I'm pushing it upon y'all, and you're going, okay, Annie, enough of the drones. So let us know on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll if you're still interested in these mysterious drones and the story behind them. When we come back, Congresswoman Mary Miller. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
CiviaLaw.com. I am so appreciative of Todd Civia and his team at Civia Law, and they have 5 locations, and they are on both sides of the river. So, yes, I went to the Edwardsville location for my estate plan with my husband. We put together a trust, and they walk you through everything, man. You don't realize the questions that you might need to address before you put something like this together. That's why you hire Civia Law, because they ask those questions. And from the time you sit down with your first strategy session with Civia Law, you can, in 2 weeks, have your completed documents. And then the relief sets in because you've addressed it. You've had the conversation, you've put in the work, and they do the majority of it for you, of course. 833-995-WILL is the number to call, with 5 locations in the bi-state listening area: Edwardsville, Wentzville, East Alton, Swansea, Mount Vernon. You can make your appointment with them right now, and make sure you tell them Annie sent you. When you're looking to put together an estate plan or put together a trust, maybe you just need the simple powers of attorney. When you call and book with Civia Law, you're supporting the show, and we are very, very grateful for it. I promise you, he's the right guy for the job. His staff, his team are excellent. You are in the best of hands at Civia Law. 833-995-WILL. 833-995-WILL. CiviaLaw.com.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too: to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey, inviting you to donate blood at the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive. Be someone's hero for the holidays. Give blood. Join us Tuesday, December 17th through Friday, December 20th at several YMCA locations near you. All presenting donors will receive a long-sleeve Red Cross t-shirt. Please call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule an appointment or visit redcrossblood.org. Use sponsor code AUDACY, AUDACY.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Matt Paul, one final question on the Arenado front. Is that something that's just going to linger out there for a while?
I think there is a higher percentage chance of it happening in the next 24 hours than it happening closer to spring training.
Listen to that.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping. And I've brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Just wrapped up a great conversation with Steve Moore of the Heritage Foundation. He's a distinguished fellow in economics there. Lots of great conversation about the successes that Donald Trump is already having before he's even gotten into office. Economically speaking, it just feels like we are chomping at the bit to get out of the gate, and it's very exciting to watch. Let's get to our next guest here. Congresswoman Mary Miller joins us once again. She is the representative from Illinois' 15th District and a very great conservative representative at that. Congresswoman, thank you for coming on the show with us today. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Annie. We're very hopeful.
Tell me about your experience right now. You've been in Congress for a little bit now. You're past your freshman year, of course, and you know how things operate, but you've been watching them operate under Joe Biden. What is it like to be a part of a continued Republican majority in the House with Donald Trump coming back into the Oval Office?
Well, I've been down to Mar-a-Lago several times. I've been involved in the transition with the transition team. And I'm very excited about his appointments. And this is a new day in D.C. Obviously, him being a strong leader and then having the House and the Senate to back him up. We've got a majority in the Supreme Court. And then we've got all these outside sources to help us with Elon Musk and Vivek and Charlie Kirk's doing great work on the campuses. And I'm just very excited and hopeful for what's to come.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the vibe that most people have, certainly when I'm running into people in my private life and everybody's just smiling a little bit more. Granted, they know where I am at on the politics. It's just a little bit happier on this side. Mm-hmm. But I also, think that there's an opportunity here. The Republican coalition that came together to put Donald Trump back in the Oval Office looks differently than the one that sent him there the first time, the one that tried to send him there in 2020. That joy that a lot of us feel that Donald Trump is going to be back in office, the things that are going to come from him being there, and the Republicans in the House of Representatives with the majority, and same with the Senate, those things aren't just going to benefit Trump voters. What are you thinking America is going to see with the support of this Republican Congress behind Donald Trump's America First mission?
I think we're going to see more unity. We definitely have more America First members in Congress, and I think that we're going to be there to support that agenda.
I think that's going to be so important. Now, the majority in the House of Representatives, Congresswoman, is not large, and it would be nice if it were bigger, but it's not. It is a majority nonetheless. We saw at the beginning of the last Congress a whole bunch of turmoil over who was going to be the speaker. How is the coalition of Republicans, the majority, how are they looking going into this next Congress and their ability to stick together?
Well, President Trump is in charge, and I believe Speaker Johnson is excited about following his lead and, getting everybody unified behind the agenda, which is number one, the border, number two, energy, number three, parental rights, and then also getting the Tax Cut and Job Acts renewed.
Do you feel like it always seems like the Democrats, they stick together so well. They pretty much take their orders from the top, and Democrats tend to go the way of what the Democrat Party tells them to do. And I feel like maybe it's a little subjective on my part that Republican leadership often listens a little bit more to their constituencies, which is a good thing to say about the Republicans that are in elected office. Is there a clear enough mandate under Donald Trump that very slim majority of Republicans in the House? Do you think that the majority of things that Donald Trump wants to get done aren't going to have any trouble in the House of Representatives?
There's definitely a clear mandate, and people are excited the other members are excited to rally behind this agenda. I mean, who could disparage this agenda? It's America first, and we've been living under America last, and Biden and his regime have deeply damaged our country and destabilized the whole world. So we're very excited for the opportunity to set things right again.
Do you anticipate, Congresswoman Mary Miller speaking with us right now from Illinois' 15th District, do you anticipate, for folks like me who are sitting here just waiting to see what the next news headline is, in 35 days, Donald Trump is inaugurated. We understand that he's going to have maybe some 25 executive orders that he's going to sign right away when he reassumes the office. How active will the House of Representatives be on minute one of Donald Trump's new presidency?
Oh, we're going to be so active. We're very excited. President Trump has already, before he was ever elected, out of his own pocket, was paying for his transition team to get things done for the American people. It's going to be very exciting. I want to tell everybody, hang on to your hats. I think it will not only be exciting, but he will bring a little humor to life too.
That's exciting to hear. We're seeing Joe Biden. It's kind of an over-exaggerated statement. We're not really seeing Joe Biden, but
I was going to say, where is Joe Biden?
Where is Joe Biden? It's really quite something. I'm going to play a clip from Senator Bernie Sanders here on one of President Biden's
when
recent
you have
actions.
his opponents going after his family. As a father, as a parent, I think we can all understand Biden trying to protect his son and his family. On the other hand, I think the precedent being set is kind of a dangerous one. It was a very wide open pardon, which could, under different circumstances, lead to problems in terms of future presidents.
Senator Sanders is worried about, the people in power going after political enemies while he's talking about the Hunter Biden pardon. What do you make of that?
A hypocrite. That's all I can say. This is ridiculous. They went after President Trump's family, and Hunter Biden is a criminal. He's been taking money from China and Ukraine for Joe Biden, basically, and then they've been owned by these countries, which you have to wonder, like, why would they sell our country out to Ukraine and China? It's because they're owned by them. And I always thought whenever Zelensky came, he was here as a presence to remind Joe Biden that he's owned by him.
Do you think how's Donald Trump going to handle the Zelensky factor?
Well, we've been seeing him on the world stage really demonstrating strength. Like, I'm back, and I'm in control. And I thought the handshake he made with the president of France was a great visual for everybody.
Do people brace themselves when Donald Trump comes in and gets ready to make that power move handshake? I don't know if he does the same towards women or men, or if there's any difference there, but that is a famous handshake from Donald Trump.
It depends on who it is. You know, if you're the Prime Minister of Canada, you might be a little worried, but he's such a likable person. The media have made him out to be someone he isn't. They vilified him and maligned him and lied about him, and he loves our country. That is the main thing. And like the Bible says, a tree is known by its fruit. A politician is known by their policies. And you can look at what President Trump did in his first term and what he's planning to do now. He loves our country. He is here to advocate for regular Americans, for farmers, for rural areas, for small businesses, for our veterans. He is going to make things better for Americans.
We're speaking with Congresswoman Mary Miller, Illinois' 15th District Representative. We talked a little bit about the Hunter Biden pardon. President Biden has also offered a whole bunch more commutations and pardons. I'm wondering if when Donald Trump assumes office on January 20th, if you hope to see him pardon anybody.
Well, I think the January 6th prisoners are definitely, he's already signaled that he's going to be looking at that. And I think these ridiculous pardons that Biden has been giving out that are unprecedented, by the way, has made the way for President Trump to be able to do this. And all the Christians that have been targeted, you know, the Biden administration through grandparents in prison, you know, decent people for praying at outside abortion clinics.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the January 6th question of pardons is one that is on a lot of people's minds. We've got the report. We spoke earlier in this show with Will Chamberlain about the news about the FBI confidential human sources that were present. Do you think that Donald Trump will issue a blanket state pardon upon reassuming office, or do you think it'll be a little more surgical than that?
I think it'll be more blanket pardon, but, you know, he's going to do he's not going to let someone get off for if they went after a policeman or something, the Capitol Police. But these people have been lied about. The FBI lied. It's a double standard. We have a political FBI. I'm very excited that Kash Patel is going to take over. We need him there.
Yeah, it's going to make a dramatic difference once we get those switches made with President Trump's nominations. I wanted to ask you, I want to shift gears before we let you go and talk to you a little bit about the state of Illinois, because you, of course, work in, or you're from the state of Illinois as you represent the 15th District. A lot of news is being made out of the disgust surrounding Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago and watching Governor J.B. Pritzker rebuff any sort of pressure that is being put upon states to cooperate with the deportation of people who are here illegally. What do you have to say to Governor J.B. Pritzker and those people within the state of Illinois about your representation of the people in your district and how it agrees with or conflicts with Governor J.B. Pritzker?
Well, and just like Biden has been America last, Pritzker is Illinoisans last. He's rolled out the red carpet for the illegals. We're already bankrupt, and he's spending billions more on illegals. The Democrats want to raise taxes for illegal aliens to pay for all this and for their health care. and he does not care about our safety. And I do want to say the sheriffs in Illinois should ignore Pritzker and cooperate with ICE.
Yes, I agree with that completely. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us here today. We appreciate you. We want to look forward to staying in touch with you as Donald Trump reassumes office, and there's going to be so much to report on. We love having access to our conversations here. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye. Congresswoman Mary Miller, Illinois' 15th District Representative. You can find her on X at Rep. Mary Miller. You can also find her at marymiller.house.gov. We're going to take a quick break here. I do want to update you before we go to a break on the developments that are taking place in Madison, Wisconsin. There are a few updates that have developed since we last discussed, and I want to make sure we're giving you the accurate information throughout the course of the day. But the new headline, according to Fox News, is that Madison, Wisconsin school shooting leaves 2 dead, 6 injured. The juvenile suspect is dead as well, a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said at least 2 people in addition to the shooter were killed, and 6 others have been transferred to a nearby hospital with injuries. Barnes would not clarify whether the deceased individuals were students or teachers. He said the officers did not fire their weapons when responding to the scene. Governor Tony Evers has said on X, he posted, I am closely monitoring the incident at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. We are praying for the kids, educators, and entire Abundant Life School community as we await more information and are grateful for the first responders who are working quickly to respond. That's the latest, which is a little bit, I don't know, it's not even possible to say encouraging, but the number was a little bit higher before. 2 individuals dead plus the shooter. That is the latest news, and we will continue to update you throughout the course of the day. We'll be right back.
All the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slow.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We're still goodbying.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Let it snow. Oh, it doesn't show signs of
The website is igotfloored.com, and if you're shopping for flooring now or in the new year, you can make that process pretty simple and smooth by starting at their website, igotfloored.com. That's how you find Michael's Flooring Outlet. They have all of the name brands that you trust, the Mohawk Smart Strand, the Techwood Plus, the various kinds of finishes that you can get in flooring, and they also do both residential, of course, and commercial business. When you visit them online at igotfloored.com, at the top of the website, you can request an estimate. So you can start that conversation there from the comfort of your office desk. Right now, it's 1:41. You are looking for other things to do. Shop for flooring. I won't tell. You can do it right now. igotfloored.com. You can request that estimate. You can peruse and read through the different reviews. They feature them right up there online. It's the Google reviews embedded right into their website, so you can know that you're getting real feedback from real people, real customers right there on their website. And then you can also see all the various different products that they have available. You can shop them in 3 different locations across St. Louis, in St. Charles County, West County, and Darden Prairie, but online at igotfloored.com.
Honesty, integrity, humility, purpose. We're looking for people that share these values. As an officer in the Springfield, Missouri Police Department, you'll train in a state-of-the-art facility, learn special skills, and most importantly, learn that being humble through it all builds a better community. Our next training academy starts soon. Work hard and dedicate yourself to the craft, and I promise you'll have some amazing opportunities. Visit gospd.com for more information. That's gospd.com. Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant health care program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great-looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Hi, Thomas Helbig here with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we'd like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We grew up right here in St. Louis, part of a large family. And that's what makes the holidays so special. The things we hold in our hearts, not in our hands. It's the people, family, friends, and the personal relationships that grow stronger with the passing of time.
In the past 38 years, we have become part of many lasting relationships, and we have made a lot of friends in and around St. Louis, and that just can't be taken away. So as we turn the page and put yet another year in the books, let's remember to be good to one another. And for those of you who may have lost loved ones, our hearts go out to you. Here's hoping next year will bring even more joy and blessings to all of you. And remember the important things to be thankful for. So once again, from all of us at the Retirement Advisory Group, and from our family to your family, we'd like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
As we do every day, there is a YouTube live chat poll in conjunction with the live stream. Today's is, do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? Yes or no? Let us know what you think. And, of course, we give you the results of those polls at the end of every broadcast here. Close to 3 o'clock. Not quite 3 o'clock is when we do that. It is 1:43 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hi, this is Hans von Spakovsky, and I'm a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. When I was a kid, I and my friends would actually go to our neighbors' houses and sing Christmas carols, and I wish more people were still doing that today.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. That YouTube live chat poll, which we haven't talked about too much. We've had a pretty busy show so far. Get on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat and vote and tell us, do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States, yes or no? I am an over-emphatic yes. I absolutely want to know what they are. And in the midst of watching and seeing really, like, what in the world is going on with the drones, but more so, it's just like anything else. The weirder they are about talking about it and the less information they provide, the more confused and interested I am in finding out what the actual deal is. But I also live in the same mindset of, I know there are things that I'm not going to know and don't need to know, because if I know them, then other people know them. Like, I'm the last person who needs to know. This is where you are supposed to trust your government. And then, well, there you have it.
Well, yeah, but it's just like the same. Everybody knows, though, there's probably technology that the government has that we have no idea what it is. But that's in a back room somewhere. This is flying over the United States for everybody to see. That's what's so weird about it. But even so, it's hard to say no to this poll because I am interested in it. But comparative to other stories, I just don't think anything's going to come of this story. So, in a sense, compared to other stories, I'm a yes that I'm not that interested, or maybe I'm saying that backwards based on the wording of the poll.
Do you care about the mysterious drones?
Do I care?
Yeah.
Then I'm a no.
You don't care?
That's what I'm saying is it's hard to say I don't care at all, but just there are so many other stories that I think are going to be a bigger deal. I don't think this is going to amount to anything. So I in that sense, I'm not
what
that interested.
What other story right now is a bigger deal than mysterious drones flying over the United States?
Well, as the day goes, that's the biggest story. But things that Trump even talked about during the press conference today, I just think that stuff's more interesting to me as far as daily news goes.
How many slots do you have available and open for carrying at any given one time? Like 2,
as you
3?
know, it's 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be 3 or 4.
Because I'm looking at this going like, can you walk and chew gum at the same time?
To see you. Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big distance.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Will you shoot them down?
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster.
So he goes on to say that Well, he's saying there that the government should come out and say what it is or say some version of something to the American people. But it's interesting to me at the very beginning of that clip when he's like, this reporter finally, he's like, can you talk about the drones? Because the American people want to know. They want to understand what's going on. And, like, Ryan, maybe I'm hearing this wrong, but what it seems like you're saying is you think at the end of this, it's going to be not aliens or a nuclear attack. And so you don't care. But that's because you've made a conclusion.
That's correct. Yeah, this is the same as a movie to me that everybody's saying, oh, it's a really good movie, but it's got a terrible ending. I'm going into this going, oh, I'm actually pretty interested in the story, but I just don't see that we're going to get some sort of satisfying ending and find out what it is.
You need aliens and nukes to be satisfying?
Anything that we would find out. I just don't think we're going to find out.
Good grief.
My guess is it'll be like the balloon that they shoot it down and then we go, well, that was stupid. Why did that happen? And you're just sort of like left going, okay.
Even the spy balloon isn't a story that is just like a non-story. We watched Chinese launch a spy balloon, and we went all the way across the nation, and then we shot it down like, it transversed the entire country, and we're like, maybe when it gets to the Atlantic, we'll take it out.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Which we did. It's so dumb. I think that's what I'm predicting.
But
that the end of this story is just going to be stupid.
That's not stupid. It's terrible and it's dangerous and it's scary.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying is I'm not uninterested in it. Like it's got me enough. You don't care. But I'm a no in comparison to I think the bigger stories are going to.
That's not a question. That's not the question.
Well, then I guess I'll say mild
let me
yes.
Let me ask you this. If headlines come out with developments on the story, are you reading them?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading them.
Yeah. Yeah. Brad.
As long as they're telling me some new information.
The story here is that the government isn't telling us what they are and that they know what they are. That's the story. It's either the ineffectiveness of the United States government to do what we're actually created the government to do, which is provide a modem of protection for us from foreign enemies or domestic enemies or whatever that might be, and to be clear and honest with us, and the inability of them to either not tell us that because maybe it's something that we shouldn't be worried about, or maybe it's something that we should be worried about, but they don't want to cause a panic, or maybe they're just incompetent. When the story first came out and they're like, hey, there's some drones over New Jersey, I was where you were, Ryan. It's like, drones over New Jersey. And they're like, hey, these drones followed.
Drones over New Jersey.
Drones over New Jersey.
Then they were like, these drones followed.
I'm dreaming of no drones over New Jersey.
It's a good old 40s song.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
But like when they said they started following Coast Guard ships, I'm like, okay, what is this? And then it's like more information. As the story has developed, I have started to care more and more and more because it's just right along those lines of the spy balloon thing. What are you guys doing? This is your job. This is like number one, your job. And you're worried about all these other things. You've been worried about all these other things these past 4 years, and you can't even tell us or won't even tell us what these drones are because either you were too incompetent and you let whatever happen that these drones needed to be used, or you're too incompetent and you don't know what they are.
Do you care?
I do care a lot.
Ryan, why is he so wrong?
If the story is that he keeps saying that the government is that incompetent, I already know that. I don't need to know that. This story doesn't add anything to that.
If you assume that the government is just incompetent, then you're ruling out the possibility that they are also working in a very, very dramatically negative way towards you. That they're not, what is the other word? It's not, I'm thinking malevolent.
Malicious.
Malicious is the word I was thinking. If you're saying that they're incompetent, then you're ruling out the possibility that it's malicious.
Yes. Yeah. And
you really are?
Well, no, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea whether it's malicious. I don't think it's malicious. If it is, then we're talking about foreign government. Seems like even Trump and everybody since the
Why does it
one
have to be foreign government?
Do you think that our own domestic government would be malicious? I mean,
obviously that's a possibility. You should listen to the Annie Fry Show podcast.
How about malicious in this way? This government has shown itself to say that the United States people, the people of America, cannot be trusted with all the information. They've talked about having, what do they call it, a ministry of truth, and we need to rein in misinformation. There's a whole attitude toward the people that they aren't smart enough to handle whatever it is that it is. This is stuff that's above you. Would you put it past them, and this would be malicious of them, to know that there's something up in New Jersey and they're investigating it, and that's what these drones are, but they're not going to tell you because you're too stupid to react the right way?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it would be. I guess that's my question is, what are the possibilities of malicious action that it could be? Because I don't really
Them
know
lying
what they
to
are.
you about what it is would be malicious.
But then they would be lying to me about something. And I would want to know what the possibilities even of that something are. Right now, I'm not even seeing what that would be. So I'm still a wait and see. I'll tell you what would change it for me, though, is if we saw one over us. I would instantly go, okay,
So
now
it has to happen to you in order for you to care about it.
No, but in this instance, that would change it. I mean, I'm not completely uninterested. I just don't think we're going to ever hear a satisfactory ending to this, and it's just going to kind of fade away.
What would have to happen for you to feel like it was a satisfactory ending?
Really, any ending. Like, I don't think we're going to get an ending. I don't think we're going to get an answer from this government. I don't think by the time Trump is in office, this will still be a story. So I just don't think that we're going to get an answer because we're not getting answers.
I just think that the absence of information is its own story. And then, like, at the end of it, you have drones flying over New Jersey, and you know what those drones could be capable of doing. They're not small. We Americans were getting bent out of shape over the thought of, like, the Patriot Act and the fact that they can listen in on phone calls or whatever. What can these drones do?
I'll tell you the one question that I would like answered, and again, I'm not expecting that we'll get it answered, is if this is our government or our government knows about it, they're not alien, they're not foreign, and they can't figure out, oh my gosh, what are these things? But we do, like, our intelligence does know what they are. Let's say that they do. Why do they keep doing it now that it's become a story? That, to me, is interesting. Because the minute it becomes like everybody's focused on it, you'd think that would be cause for them to go, oh, shrink away.
I don't think so. I mean, I actually think the opposite, that, like, once they're out, I mean, it's not like they're not being sneaky.
No, that is kind of interesting to me, that they're just like,
they're not
we
being
don't even
sneaky.
care.
And when everyone's going like, oh my gosh, drones everywhere. I see them everywhere. And you've got President Trump-elect Donald Trump being like, yeah, they're flying over my place in New Jersey. That's a problem. I think that at this point, whatever they're doing, they better get it all done while they're there. You can't just be like, people can't go, oh, I see drones, and then they just go away. That's not likely.
Yeah. Well, I hope on January 20th we get an answer.
So bold. I have a theory that President Trump keeps inviting all these world leaders. Well, he said in his press conference today that they're calling him, which is a move of his own. But he's talking about how these world leaders are coming, and the press asked multiple times, like, so is President Xi going to come? He's like, I hope he does. If I were him, I'd want all of the world leaders of the BGs out there, the bad guys out there, to be in the same place I am so they don't bomb it. I'd be like, Xi, you sit here. Putin, you sit here.
Yeah.
Can we get an Iranian leader? You come stay right here. And I think that'll do it. Let me swear in real quick and get the heck out of here.
Now you guys can go.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got to leave. Bye.
Yeah, who knows? Stick around. We'll talk more about this and feature some of your comments on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. For instance, Janine, who said, who in the world doesn't want to know? Of course I do. Just Ryan Wiggins. That's why we keep him around for discussion. We'll be right back.
Red tape to keep the truth confined.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctors' doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youridoc.com.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? with credit card debt reaching all-time highs. National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. Find the best deals on the Hardee's app. Items available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. Tragedy at a school in Wisconsin. I'm Lisa Brady. A deadly mass shooting at a Christian school where 3 people were killed. The suspect is among the dead, 6 others wounded.
911 calls rang out just before 11 a.m. local time from Abundant Life Christian School in Madison.
When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds.
Where Police Chief Sean Barnes says the suspected shooter, a juvenile, was a student there, where the scene remains active with multiple law enforcement agencies. A unification center is set up with the public urged to steer clear.
This is something that we all prepare for, but we hope we never have to do.
IDs and any information about the gunman's motive are all still pending.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Police say responding officers found the suspected shooter dead in the building. And again, they're confirming 3 people dead, including the shooter, with 6 wounded. Police say information previously released during their briefing about 5 people dead was not correct. President-elect Trump confirming that Amazon's Jeff Bezos will join the recent stream of business leaders visiting his Florida estate. Contrast to his first election.
It's like a complete opposite. In the first one, and the press has covered that fairly, actually, for change. The first one, they were very hostile. And maybe it was my fault, but I don't really think so. They were just very right from the beginning. And this one is much less hostile. It's really the opposite of hostile.
This during a more than hour-long news conference earlier today at Mar-a-Lago, where the CEO of Japanese investment firm SoftBank announced a $100 billion investment over 4 years, focusing on artificial intelligence and critical infrastructure, double what he pledged in the first Trump term, based, he says, on his confidence level in the U.S. economy after this Trump win. An hour to the close, the Dow's down 10 points, but the NASDAQ hitting new highs. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Some gusty winds from the west-northwest going through our Monday afternoon with that clearing process continuing. Temperatures are going down. 48 by the time the sun goes down late this afternoon. Tonight, clear and cold, 34. Tuesday, sunny and 51. More rain, a cold rain, but all rain Tuesday night. Wednesday, some early showers, then clearing skies Wednesday afternoon at 46. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Wrap up your holiday shopping with Jewelry Television. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles and gifts for women and men. Shop on TV or online. Plus, new JTV customers save up to $50 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us this afternoon. We have Will Chamberlain on the show at 12:25. I think you put that. Did you put that up on the podcast already?
I did already.
We talked to him. He's with the Article 3 project, but we talked to him about the FBI and those confidential human sources that were revealed to be present at January 6th. We had that discussion at 12:25. Steve Moore, economy expert Steve Moore, was with us at 1:05, and Congresswoman Mary Miller following that. So a good show so far. The YouTube live chat poll for today is: do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? Brad and I are yeses. Ryan is more of an undecided, but David on YouTube says, do the drones care about me?
That's a great question, David. Thank you for bringing that up. The answer is no.
Well, that depends. Do you live in New Jersey?
David, do you live in New Jersey?
Do you think that it's not possible that there aren't drones around here? We just haven't seen them?
Well, the size of the ones in New Jersey would indicate that if we're seeing the same things here, we would have seen them.
Don't they disappear?
Do they have a cloaking device?
I don't know if it's a cloaking device. They didn't tell me yet. But I do feel like they could, like their ability to disperse seems like that's something that they do.
Are you more concerned with these drones or the kinds that sort of like spell out words and look like fireworks and stuff?
You can probably answer that question yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that you don't know where they're coming from or what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand you don't care. It makes for great conversation. The whole point of the poll today is just to gauge how much the audience wants to talk about this, because I want to talk about it. I want to find out. I want to know. But Ryan's like, I'd rather talk about other things.
Well,
so go ahead. What would you like to talk about?
I think you're going to
Start with
find that the vast majority of people are not in my boat, that most people are pretty fascinated by what these are. I'm not saying I'm not fascinated by what they are.
I'm not tasked with talking to all of those other people on the air about said topic. You're the main person who I have conversations with, and you don't care. I didn't have you for that. I thought you'd be like super crazy about it.
No, again, it's the same thing with the movie. If you know it doesn't have a good ending, then I'm just not going to be.
You
don't know.
You don't know
don't
anything
think it
about
will.
the ending.
That's why I'm not that interested in those, because I don't think we'll
But
have
I
a sufficient
still
ending.
don't understand
Yes.
like what good ending means for you. Do you mean like really dramatic and like the bigger the better the ending, or what?
That would be a good ending.
What is a good ending and what is a bad ending when it comes to mysterious drones over multiple areas of the United States?
So if we compare this to the series Lost, for instance, Lost was an amazing journey. 6 years of my life I put into that show, expecting that there would be, if not a big ending.
Just so you know, I like the ending of Lost. Go on.
Oh no, oh no. There would be a satisfying ending. They set up this big mystery, and then at the end they answered the questions that they set up. That to me is a satisfying ending, even if it's not a great one. Even if the writers were like, well, let's just say it was monsters and time travel. Okay, like at least you told me what it was, even if it wasn't a great ending. I just don't feel like we're going to get a satisfying conclusion to this story. I think it's just going to fade away. And then maybe when Trump gets in office, we might get some sort of extra like chapter to this thing that might be that ending that we're looking for. But I don't think this administration is ever going to let us know.
I feel like if there are drones flying over the United States in a mysterious fashion and they're significantly large, and you have some Congress people saying mothership off the East Coast, and you have others saying, like John Kirby, like nothing, we know what it isn't. If you have all of these mysteries and then it just fades to gray and nothing happens, that makes it more interesting to me. And you would say it's on the media to get to the bottom of the story and to press upon some sort of conclusion here.
Yes. I think the media is pressing on it, and the White House is pressing back and saying, no, we don't know what they are. We can tell you what they're not, but we're not going to tell you what they are.
So your level of interest in this story is basically based on the media's ability or lack thereof to get a conclusion.
Yeah.
We're in the media.
Well, put us in the White House press briefing room, and we'll press.
I mean, we literally have an expert on tomorrow to talk about the drones,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Well, make sure Ryan has something else to do then.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give him lots
Give
to
him
do.
some busy work.
Ryan, can you go color this page in this book? I'm sure, I guess. I'll go do that for now. If it needs to be done.
What do you think the most likely outcome is, Brad?
What do I think it is? I think that they're U.S. military drones, and I think that they're either running an exercise, like set up an exercise where they're a potential terror attack. We're going to see if these drones can find X, Y, and Z that we're trying to use. Or B, there's actually a potential terror attack, and these drones are actively looking for whatever it could be that this terror attack would
But you're not
be.
thinking that the drones are the bad guys.
No. I think, in a way, I think the U.S. government's a bad guy for not telling us what they're doing.
Do you want to know everything, though? Like, to Ryan's point, like, we may never find out anything. There are probably things that we're never going to find out for our own good and for the safety and security of the country.
Yeah, in my scenario, if it's just an exercise, just tell us it's an exercise.
Oh, they're all just exercises.
Yeah, it's just a weather balloon.
But if you're actually looking for, I don't know, material, nuclear material or radioactive material, a dirty bomb or something like that, maybe inform the people that their lives might be in danger and you should be moving out of this area.
No panic there.
Man, I don't know. That's a tough question.
Or practicing the ability to do sweeps of places. I mean, there's a very massively shared Twitter thread from like a no-namer who's not even on X anymore, who's saying that these drones are used to sweep large areas quickly for nefarious means, which seems totally logical. I think the most obvious likely scenario we're looking at is United States government partnership with a private military company or investment or project or something that has technology that the United States government has investments in or is waiting to be developed, and whether it's an active pursuit of something or it is preparing for the implementation of something like that, I think that's what it is. But listening to President Trump say, they know what it is. And I mean, when he gets asked a question by the press, the first thing he does is he kind of chuckles.
Yeah. The reason I would have thought, and maybe still thought, that it was an overseas adversary is simply because of what that congressman was saying last week. You know, I thought he was saying some pretty interesting information from intelligence sources that clearly our government wasn't willing to share. But then after hearing Trump today, you go, well, if he thinks that we would have shot them down by now if they were from an adversary and we haven't, then maybe it is domestic.
Yeah, the idea of a ship that they're being launched from Iran that we don't know about out there, that seems highly unlikely to me, because I go back to what was the name of that submarine that imploded? They heard the submarine implode, and it was hundreds of miles up. We've got underwater microphones and all that other stuff. We would know if there was a ship off our shore launching drones.
Yeah. But there's no way we don't know. And if we don't know, shame on us for not knowing.
Yeah.
But then I would, don't you want the government to come out and say, we're familiar with the situation that has a lot of people in New Jersey uncomfortable, and the United States government is fully aware of the situation. We can assure you that nobody is in harm's way or in any grave danger, and we're looking to rectify the situation shortly, or something like that. Like, don't you want to have them come out and say something? Like when you have the Democrat governor of New Jersey going, hey, share some info to the Democratic-controlled White House, unless the whole point is to sow discord and discomfort.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought experiment, because the fact that right now they're saying they don't know what it is a little disconcerting. But if they said they did know what it is, but we can't tell you, that might be more disconcerting. I almost would rather them say, nah, we don't know. We're looking into it.
Would you rather know that they know? Would you rather them be open and honest and say that we know what the situation is?
Yeah, I'd rather. Them knowing what's going on makes me feel better than them saying we don't know.
And Ryan, you would rather not be told that they know what's going on and they're not telling you?
Gosh. If I had to pin it down, I'd say I'd be a little more afraid of them saying, yeah, we know, yeah, we can't tell you.
Why?
Because then
you just want to be lied to.
Then there's a legitimate threat or something that they're dealing with that they're not going to tell me.
What they tell you has nothing to do with whether or not there's a legitimate threat.
Yeah, but then panic starts, and then it's
Brad,
War of the
why
Worlds.
Are you laughing so much?
Because he's like, well, if they don't tell me, then there's no threat. No.
Hey,
they're just not telling you that there's a threat.
As you know, I'm well versed in human psychology. And I'm thinking not just of me,
psych yourself
but
out.
I'm thinking of all of New England right now. And the way that would play out, that would not be pretty.
If they said, we know what it is, the situation's under control, you think that would cause more panic?
And that you're safe?
I think especially if they said, you're safe, no reason to panic, people are going to lose it. Stop. That's where people go nuts.
Is it just because it's this administration? Like if this were the Trump administration saying, we know what the situation is, we've got it under control, everything's all good, you're safe, go about your business, do you think people would be less concerned or more concerned?
I think they're more concerned when it's the Biden administration, because this administration is just crazy. They're all over the place.
Scooter says Ryan is in fuego today. He's finishing the year strong.
Thank you.
I don't know what that means.
On fire. Yeah, that's what that means.
I know en fuego means on fire.
I'm a master of human psychology and Duolingo.
Read Katie's comment there for you.
Ryan is well-versed in bologna sausage. Maybe. Guess you'll never know.
Read Captain Planet's.
Captain Planet says, Dr. Wiggins, smiley.
Laughing
Laughing
till
emoji.
You cry.
What do you think? I mean,
I think it's
Of
right
all
up the
the-
Ryan Wiggins lane to just be like, just lie to me and tell me what I want to hear. I know if Ish is going down here in St. Louis and we're in harm's way, I already know how I'm handling you.
Yeah. If stuff's going down, my fear is not the thing that's going down most of the time. It's what are people going to do, and that plays out very much in this scenario.
See, here's the thing. You're going to have to multitask because both are going to be important.
I don't know.
The thing that's going down, potential nuclear war or alien invasion, you're like, but how are the people feeling? What do we need to tell them to make them feel okay?
I don't know.
The aliens are not here to take over our life and our culture and our existence. Everything will be fine. Trust me.
See,
And you're
now
like,
now you lost me.
The people said it was going to be okay.
And look, if the people are all calm, then I can read into the situation and be like, the government's saying that I should stay at home. I think maybe I'm going to hit the road and go west as fast as possible. That's what I want.
You're going to hit the road and go west?
Everybody, like if it's in New Jersey and it's heading toward us.
Not here.
Yeah. Then I'm going to go.
Your family's east, right?
Then
I'm going west.
I'm going to go, let's see what Denver's got to offer. As long as nobody else is doing it, because then there's gas runs and gas shortages, and I can't get out of here.
You thought this through.
Oh, yeah. Clearly. I'm not just saying this right now.
We've had the question about preparedness, and you said that you're basically just giving up. You've said you're not lasting long.
I mean, I've got, some cash, and I got some canned goods. When those are gone, I'm dead.
What are you doing with the cash?
I'm bribing everybody I know.
People don't care about cash.
I'm using it to start a fire to heat myself.
Well, I'm trying not to say this because I don't want to get robbed, but it's actually gold doubloons. Interested now?
Is it in your money bin?
It's in my safe, in my floor, in my... Whoops, I shouldn't have revealed that.
You're toast. What is the service that you provide people in the case of the apocalypse?
I mean, just a little fun, a little levity.
How long do you think they're going to be interested in that?
Deeper.
Hey, we need a funny guy.
The deeper we get into it,
Yeah.
the more I'm going to be out there on stage just kind of dancing, doing the jazz hands. Hey, look, everybody here.
Ryan, you seriously have
Give
to
me
have
your doubloons.
some sort of marketable skill.
That's it. I just told you what it was.
Do you have any others?
I could probably, hunt and skin a boar. Would that matter?
You know what a boar is?
Mm-hmm. Wild. Got the little horns. Not like a regular pig.
He's off. His cheese
Could
is
you
off his
imagine?
cracker.
Could you imagine that guy's like, hey, I get you.
I know what a boar is.
I don't have skills. I could develop skills, and I have acquired the necessity of protection, but I don't have skills. All the things I need require electricity. Communication, good at that. Who are you going to talk to?
Tell you what, I've seen a lot of deer in my backyard lately, and I got a brand new set.
That's going to last days.
That's fine, but at least I get some days. There are...
How are you killing that deer right now?
I'm telling you.
Bare hands.
Not bare
You got to
hands.
get a bear first.
Nope. Not using any bare hands. I'm not using deer hooves either. That'd be really ironic to kill a deer with its own hooves.
The meanest thing you could do.
Yeah.
to death.
Look, this isn't even for me. This is just to beat you psychologically, dear. But I would kill it with a brand new
Kindness.
set.
You would.
With I was going to say a brand new
would.
set of Ginsu knives because that's what I have around the house.
How quick?
And maybe some guns.
How quick do you think you are, Ninja?
Oh, but
Are you
here's the
throwing
thing.
them?
Yeah, I'm throwing them, and I'm jumping on it, and I'm slitting its throat, and I'm going to probably start eating it before it even is done walking because I'm so hungry because it's the apocalypse.
This isn't like hour one.
No,
Ryan, you're going to need to slow down.
This is my point. If they announce, oh, crap, it's all
out
hit the
there in a
fan,
loincloth.
everybody's doing this immediately.
Your male urges are going to have to calm down. You're going to need someone who helps you with time management.
So this is why it needs to slow play. Why people need to slowly realize, oh, they're lying to me. Because if they don't, if they tell you the whole truth all at once, everybody's hunting all my deer. And then what am I going to do? Then I got to put on the court jester
Yeah,
outfit.
but you can't. If you hunt all of them, do you know how to preserve meat?
Like I said, We're not
That's
preserving
a no.
anything.
That's a no.
I got enough Morton salt.
Uh-huh.
I can throw that thing in.
You got like one can. Like,
I got one or two bags
one
for the
of
sidewalk.
the ones with the salt and the pepper in the same package that you get on vacation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some more salt.
Oh, this thing is not very tasty. Can somebody bring the salt, please? But that's
You know the salt isn't for flavor, right? I don't know about the salt. Keep the salt. Toss me the pepper.
Annie, that's why we have the garage fridge, which is clearly still going in the apocalypse. You gotta stick a deer in it.
Does Mrs.
I'm
Wiggins
throwing
have?
out the potato skins and all the old fish sticks that we didn't eat, and I'm throwing a fresh deer in
No,
there.
you're eating them all as fast as you can.
Well, maybe.
Maybe not the fish sticks. Those are all pre-baked.
I just feel like if there's an apocalypse happening, aren't you going to want to eat a deer, like something real raw just to show that you got it in you, and not like, oh, I'm going to eat my bacon out of my freeze. It's pre-cooked. What are you pointing at?
This is usually where you say, Brad. You're screwed. You're so screwed.
I don't think you're that much better off.
Oh, you have no idea.
Then I'm going to come to your house.
No, I'm not going to be there. You can have my house.
All right, fine. I'll take your garage fridge.
Like I said. Oh, you can have it. It's all yours. You can have all of my non-functioning appliances. All right. Hard to say what's coming next on the show. You should just probably change the channel. Or not. Stick around, Annie Fry Show. We'll get to your comments on the YouTube live chat poll next. Do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? Yes, like Brad and me, or couldn't care less, like Ryan. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
TheDiamondShop.net. Go visit the Diamond Shop in Clayton right now. 40% off all in-stock jewelry, folks. This is the sale that you've been looking for. Some last-minute gifts or maybe the best and the biggest gifts. They have in-stock jewelry for you to purchase right now at 40% off. And I can help you save even just a little bit more when you visit TheDiamondShop.net. TheDiamondShop.net. Scroll to the bottom of the page. Sign up to become a VIP, because that 40% off in-stock jewelry, you're going to be able to add an additional 10% savings off the top. Saving at the Diamond Shop is very simple, but the beautiful priceless pieces, the timeless pieces that you're going to be able to shop there are going to put the smile on the face of your loved ones for years to come. How cool is that? They're located in Clayton. You can find them online at thediamondshop.net.
It's officially the merry season, and St. Louis's Christmas station, 102.5 KEZK, is your home for holiday music. Spinning the biggest and best festive tracks all day long, now through Christmas Day.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Do they know?
Get your holiday fix on the radio at 102.5 FM. Ask your smart speaker to play 102.5 KEZK, or listen on the go with the free Odyssey app.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey, inviting you to donate blood at the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive. Be someone's hero for the holidays. Give blood. Join us Tuesday, December 17th through Friday, December 20th at several YMCA locations near you. All presenting donors will receive a long-sleeve Red Cross t-shirt. Please call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule an appointment or visit redcrossblood.org. Use sponsor code AUDACY, AUDACY.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
There's a music station that fits your taste at Odyssey.com. Download the app for instant access to hundreds of music stations and listen live to 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it or stream from 971talk.com. This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
It's possible that this album, Christmas album by Taylor Swift, is the worst thing she's ever done. You don't turn it back up. You can turn it off. Have you heard her Silent Night song?
No.
Can you find Taylor Swift's Silent Night? It's not even the
Let's see what I can
melody.
do. Oh, I hate it when they do that. They take the words and make it into a new song.
Well, I guess. I mean, it's the same words, but it's just, I think it's the fact that she sounds so young there. So comparative to where she is right now as a performer. Are there any Christmas performers that across the board you're like, no, I don't want to hear it?
Yeah.
Who?
Bruce Springsteen.
Does he have more than one song?
I have no idea. I don't want to know.
Does he sing that one song that's just the same thing over and over again? What is it? Is it Run Rudolph?
No, it's
What is it?
Yeah,
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yep.
It's just over and over.
I don't know that he knew that was going to become a classic. He was
classic?
It was just a live recording of that song. He was probably just goofing around, and somebody took it and they
Are
just
there
play
others?
it to death. I have no idea, and I don't want to know.
So the song is so bad that you swear him off as a Christmas artist.
Well, I can't
In
imagine
total.
him doing a studio recording of Christmas music.
Listen to this Taylor Swift Silent Night version. And I guess this is probably pretty old.
Okay.
From the because her voice sounds so incredibly immature in it. And Silent Night is maybe the best Christmas carol of all, overall. Sounds pretty.
That's actually Rockmouth on guitar.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm and all is bright. Round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly.
It's like she found the music again. They found the sheet of paper that went with this song.
That's
the melody and the composition of it is not bad, but just do a different song.
It would be tough to sing that because you know it so well that going into a different song singing the same words would be hard. But it sucks, by the way.
I haven't overindulged in Christmas music this year. It's still very much so pleasant when I hear it. I feel like you go through listening to Christmas music in two phases. It's too early and, oh my gosh, it's almost over, or it's over. It's hard to be in the sweet spot, but we're in the sweet spot right now.
We are, and I'm the same way. I haven't overindulged this year. I usually about now or a few days before Christmas, I'm like, okay, I've listened to enough Christmas music, but then it's almost Christmas, so you can't turn it away. But I haven't this year. I tell you, the saddest moment of every year for me at Christmas is either because a lot of times I'm up late on Christmas, depending on if we're opening gifts or doing parties and stuff. Is if I go to my car and it's after midnight and it's the next day and I turn the radio on and it's not Christmas music anymore, but it's still very Christmassy.
That makes you sad?
Ugh, it's so disappointing. Or the next day when you turn it on, you're like, oh. And there's no reason for them to continue to play Christmas. I'm not saying they should.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I'm still kind of in the Christmas season. Maybe we're doing one later than usual, and it's gone.
Diane says Carrie Underwood can sing any Christmas song. I actually like Carrie Underwood the most singing Christmas music. I think she's the best. I wanted to highlight this story. This is just absolutely ridiculous. This is a Libs of TikTok tweet, but the story is out there. Biden spent $3 billion. He invested $3 billion in trying to make a fleet of electric United States Postal Service trucks. They were looking to put 66,000 electric postal office cars on the streets. $3 billion in 2022 for 66,000 electric mail trucks within 5 years. So 2022 means that you got to deliver those 66,000 by 2027. And they're well on their way to 66,000 electric mail trucks with a spanking 93 trucks done.
These stories make me laugh at first, and then I get really mad.
Angry. It's your money.
Yes, this is all of our money that they're just blowing. It's like the stupidest idiots. The people who know how to run money the worst are the people who go, you know what I would like to do? I'd like to open a business. And they go, no, Joe, you're really bad with money. Don't open a business. Why don't you go into government?
Don't do it, Joe.
Why don't you go into government?
Why don't you go into government? It's like, and that's what all of them are like. They're all so bad with money. They don't even get the concept of how it works. Like, oh, if I print it, why is everything going up in price? I'm a freaking idiot.
This is also an ugly truck.
Yes.
I don't know that matters, but if you're gonna, I gotta do the math here. But what is $3 billion divided by 93? Like, how much does this electric car
do the math.
actually cost?
I'm gonna do it.
And what are we doing with these electric cars? Have we saved the planet yet? I'm hoping we're close, because the investments keep going bonkers.
I'm almost there.
The Pentagon is reporting right now regarding the drone question on the Anti-Fry YouTube live chat poll. Do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? The Pentagon is reporting that they are not United States military drones, which is neither comforting nor not comforting. Per electric postal truck, make sure you know how to apply the zeros.
Over $32 million per truck.
Doesn't it? Don't you ever think? I mean, I know that it's not apples to apples, but don't you ever think like, I would work for free?
Yes.
You don't have to pay an electric truck. I'll walk.
I
will do the whole postal circuit on my feet.
Yes.
You want to talk about green energy for $32 million? I'm your girl.
I'll do it.
Let's go.
I'll do it for the rounding error of this number. Like I said, it's a little over 32 million. It's actually 32,258,000. I'll just do the 258,000. You can round it to 32.
There you go.
That's all I need.
When you think about Doge, and if you listen to what President Trump was saying in his press conference today, he touched on so many different things. But one of the things he was talking about is the amount of cutting that could be happening. He said at one point that he believes that they could cut up to $2 trillion. this definitely has a long-lasting effect on the American economy. And if he's correct in his assumptions, even if he's like 50% correct in his assumptions, and he can do what he says he's going to do, which is stimulate the American economy in a way that we haven't seen stimulated in a really, really long time. Gosh, I shouldn't even say it out loud because I said this before the 2020 pandemic, but what is possibly going to happen in order to stop the prosperity that we're about to endure?
Oh, gosh, I get so freaking mad at these stories. The $32 million thing, again, we're living in a state, the three of us, in fact, live in a state that wastes, maybe not this kind of money, but it's the same percentages of money. It's just not quite as high. They waste ridiculous amounts of money. And then they turn around to you and they go, you know what we need to do is bring back the income tax on you Illinoisans. Because why? Because you're wasting so much money that you need to just squeeze a little bit more out of us? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's great. We'll do that.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get an update on the shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. We'll tap into the press conference they're having right now and give you the latest details on that. And also get a conclusion to the YouTube live chat poll. Do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? Yes or no? You got to tell us on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll, and we will use that information to help influence our interest level in that story. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
We've been talking about it, the YouTube live chat poll today. Do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? Yes or no? Let us know. We'll give you the results here in just a few minutes, but you have time to vote or leave a comment or agree with me if you want to. 241. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So there's been a tragic shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. It's a school shooting, and it's just awful to have to revisit this place once again. They are giving a press conference. Chief Shone Barnes with the Madison, Wisconsin Police Department is speaking on the details, and we're just going to dip in quickly and find out the basics of what we know.
Here are the details. Today at 10:57 a.m., our team was called to the Abundant Life Christian School in reference to an active shooter. We know that 3 people are dead, including the suspect shooter. We know that the suspect shooter was a teenage student who attended the school. At this time, we're not releasing the age or gender of the student or any other identifying remarks about the student. 2 other people have died. That died were a teacher and a teenage student. 6 other people were injured. 2 students are now in critical condition in the hospital, and these injuries are considered life-threatening injuries. 4 students are also at other area hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. But these are just the physical injuries that we know about. We know that this was the middle of the day of a school day, and so there will be other injuries that we'll have to face for a very, very long time. And we're going to do everything we can as a community to heal those injuries as well. Many of you have asked me about the why of this. Why did this happen? What do we know? What was the motivation? I do not know. But I will tell you this, our detectives are working hard in the investigative process to find out as many answers as we can so that we can further prevent these things from happening, not only in this community, but in other communities around our country. I think we can all agree that enough is enough, and we have to come together to do everything we can to support our students, to prevent press conferences like these from happening again and again and again. The school building itself is clear. We have cleared the school. There's no other threats or danger to the community. We're in the process now of what we call reunification. And what that simply means is making sure that every student that was in the school is present and accounted for and returned to their loved ones. This usually takes a while, but we have practiced, unfortunately, and practice, and that's why we're able to reunify students with their parents within hours of a school shooting. The reunification is taking place at the Dean Clinic on Stoughton Road, and I certainly thank them for their help. Again, we need our public to find an alternate route. If that is your normal way home as we get closer to the end of the day, please be patient or find another route home. We're currently processing the scene. We're interviewing those who may have been witnesses, and we're obtaining search warrants to get additional information. And lastly, I want to just say thank you to everyone who's standing behind me, the organizations and agencies that they represent, the men and women of the Madison Police Department and Dane County Sheriff's Office who selflessly ran into a building not knowing what they were going to encounter. Many of you know this about me, but I started my professional career, if you will, as a public school teacher back in 1997. And I taught public school for 4 years. It was one of the greatest joys of my life before becoming a police officer. And I can tell you what a special place our schools are. With that being said, we owe it to our community to do everything possible to ensure that it's not only a special place, but a safe place as well. And we're going to continue to do that. So we ask for your patience as information is coming in. We will do the best that we can to bring you accurate and timely information, but we want to make sure that our public knows that we're working extremely hard on this particular incident. There are a lot of people involved, and certainly we're going to come together as a community. I'd like to bring up at this time Police Fire Chief Chris Carpenter.
Thank you, Chief Barnes. Before I start, the only thing I can say is this is not a place that any fire chief or any one of us would ever want to be. And I can't believe I'm standing here today talking about this incident. The fire department is a part of this community, much like all the folks standing up here with me today. Our hearts are with and our arms are around everybody impacted today and everybody within our community. With that, I won't repeat the details shared by Chief Barnes, but I will share with you the fire department activity for today. Much like Chief Barnes mentioned, at 10:57, we were also dispatched with Engine 5 and Medic 5 to the same location Throughout the course of the incident, we responded with 5 engine companies, 4 ladder companies, 15 ambulances. I would like to take a moment and share our gratitude for our county partners throughout a multitude of EMS and fire agencies that joined us in the response today. We also had 11 off-duty chief officers that came in on this response. It was a tremendous response from the fire department. We transported 4 patients to St. Mary's. We transported 3 patients to the University of Wisconsin hospitals. On the arrival of our crews, I can say my gratitude to our membership for what they did and their selfless actions today. It's hard for me to place into words what they ran into as well. They did that immediately, they did that selflessly, and within a course of 15 minutes, from the first transport to the last transport, all the patients were on their way to the hospital. So to our membership within the Madison Fire Department and within all the emergency services, my gratitude, my recognition of the work that goes into this, the training that went into this, that again, we had hoped we would never have to put into practice. One more time on behalf of the Madison Fire Department, our hearts are with you, our arms are around you, and we will be with you throughout the duration of this.
So we've been listening
So
to
at this point, I'll step
updates
aside.
in Madison, Wisconsin, a school shooting at a Christian school there in Madison. They have said 2 dead plus the shooter,
Yeah.
with 6 in the hospital with life-threatening injuries.
Right.
I think when we have a way of processing these things at this point in time, but when you go through and you listen to these people having this conversation, and you hear the police officers talking, and then you hear the fire department talking, the tentacles of how horrific something like this is, it's dramatic to think about the people who are impacted of the scene that day. And they're parents. They're people who have loved ones who, if you go in there, you're never going to undo that experience. The people who are waiting to reconnect, as they were talking about reconnecting families and everything. It's so awful.
First question you always ask is why. What was the motivation? Why was this person doing that? And he addressed that. He said, "We know that you want to know, but we're not." It sounded like they weren't ready to say, this is very fresh, so I doubt they know everything yet. But if they do know anything, they're not saying yet.
I think you also want to make sure that you've got all the specifics of the story right. There's a lot of people who have to be notified about specific things, and you don't want to be saying stuff out there before all the people are notified. Very difficult to cover any story like this, and we know that you want to know the details of what's going on, but I'm just thinking of all of the school shootings that we've seen here recently and how there's no resolve. We don't ever find out the motive, and then there's nothing that's done about it.
No, but you still want to know.
Sure, I'm not saying you don't want to. I want to know, and I want to do something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the mental health crisis that exists in our country right now is probably much more global than just our country. I was just talking with my husband about this a lot, but how our victimhood is supposed to be our greatest asset today. It's not a mentally healthy place to be. There's a difference between accepting the fact that you are not a perfect person, caring about the things that you should work on to become better at, accepting the things that you're never going to be. But it's a very upside down mental place to exist, where it's like, I'm going to put the I'm not okay, you're not okay, we're all not okay mentality. That can't be, that's not the beginning and the end of the story. We were talking about this in the car the other day, but I feel kind of like maybe this is maybe gone by the wayside. I don't know, moms out there, you can tell me if you think it's different. But do you remember when it really became super trendy online for moms to talk about how much they don't have it together? I mean, you said that your wife comes over to my house and appreciates that the house looks like we live in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember ever a time up until recently that people really sort of wallowed in their failures. But it's also commoditized.
Well,
it's not a real failure. It's like you want to show certain things to show vulnerability, and it's all for show.
Being forced to be socially accepting, culturally accepting of things that that aren't okay. I mean, Brad, you've talked about this a lot. You've lost a ton of weight in your lifetime, and you had to be confronted, I guess, your story to tell, not mine, but confronted with a health scare in order to really force yourself into a lifestyle change. But especially with the weight conversation that exists in the world, I've always been what is now considered mid-size. I've never been thin. At my 4-sport athlete, played all 4 quarters of a varsity basketball game, I was always incredibly strong, and like it's kind of what's in style now to be not like super skinny scrawny. When I was growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, you didn't want to be a 0. You wanted to be a size 00. Who the heck knew that existed? So it's like we went from when I was growing up having hip bones jutting out of your super low-rise jeans to now being plus size is like the goal. It's in. Isn't there a happy medium where, like, you should be the fittest version of yourself and not have to be an unattainable version of yourself? Where people are telling, from a weight standpoint, that, like, if you are overweight, it doesn't matter if you are a large person. You could be overweight for your size, and that's championed right now. That's so upside down to me.
It's almost like they are overcompensating for, kind of like you said, when you were growing up, you know, it was you have to be a 00. It was like the skinniest version of everything. It's almost like they're going opposite of that to try and make up for it, almost, to where now it's encouraged to be unhealthy.
We've come to a point as a society where we're looking at one another and we're saying, you're okay the way you are, and then there's no incentive for self-improvement.
Yeah.
You know, be it mental health, be it physical health, whatever. You should be trying to get healthy. You should be trying to get well. There's a way that your body is designed to act and function and be, and that should be your goal. Your goal isn't to be Kate Moss with your hip bones protruding out, but there is an ideal you, and you should always be trying to be that person.
It's just whatever's healthy. You know, and healthy, there is a sensible movement in, like, healthy looks different on different people. I appreciate and respect that. But, you know, not even just from a health standpoint, but, like, if you have cognitive disabilities, it's like what you lead with. And we should live in a society where we understand that everybody's dealing with different types of things, but at the same time, we should also be living in a society where we do champion the things that are the best about ourselves. You can't talk about that because it might not be what's best about the person who's next to you, and shame on you for thinking that you're better than them. I mean, that's really the end game, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is uniquely 21st century American to not be able to stop at acceptance. You can work for acceptance, and it never stops there. It goes on to, now you have to celebrate it. You can't just accept it. You got to celebrate it, and then it gets weaponized because they've drawn these walls around
today,
it.
But then you have to prove that you're celebrating it tomorrow.
Yes.
And then you have to, and then the goalposts might move.
Right.
All of this to say that we have a huge mental health crisis, and that's because the way that we have, to use your guys' words, commoditized the breakdown of mental health in our society. Well, what we need is truth. Not your truth, not my truth, but we need facts and we need truth. Let's get to the YouTube poll.
Today's YouTube live chat poll: do you care about the mysterious drones over the United States? This one's not close today, guys. 293 votes, 87% say yes, and then Ryan Wiggins falls in that little 13%.
Well, I'm glad.
Did you vote 36 times in this poll?
That's higher than I thought it was going to be, actually.
Well, we appreciate you being with us. If you missed the conversations we had with Will Chamberlain about the confidential human sources with the FBI that were present at January 6th, we had that conversation at 12:25. We also talked to Steve Moore and Congresswoman Mary Miller. Go to anniefryshow.com/podcast, and you can catch all of the things you missed today. But if you keep it right here on 97.1 FM on your radio or on the Odyssey app, you'll catch Mark Reardon coming up next.
Turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not a Mary, the sweetheart.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
You know how we all of our kids make lists and everything and visit with Santa, and I happen to be really good friends with Santa. It's like we're the same people. So every once in a while, you know, when he's got some free time, which he did, we're cool. So he always makes it a point to stop in and have an adult beverage with me. I was talking to him about, do you ever have requests for a homeowner wanting a furnace or an air conditioner? He said he does. And I said, so what do you deliver on that? Because I'm your best bud, and you never let me know, so I've never delivered anything or put anything together. But he said he was going to leave my number and my card. If you don't find it, here's what's on my card. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
What's your favorite